Non-farm payrolls just coming through for the month of September, a little bit delayed on this board. Unemployment rate 4.1% versus 4.3% expected. 254,000 jobs created versus 130,000 expected there. So a huge upside print there for the month of September. Again, 254,000 versus 130 expected. Unemployment rate to the downside, 4.1% versus 4.3%. The participation rate, interesting, 6.2 or 62.7% versus 62.9% expected there. That's a significant downtick for that as well. Non-farm payrolls on the private side, huge upprint as well, 223,000 versus 125 expected there. So let's see how we react off of this huge move to the upside right now. We are coming back in pretty quick here, about 0.6 for the NASDAQ currently. S&P about 0.5%. Yeah, that's Eli Lilly. Overall, the market liking this move to the upside here. Just hearing in my ear as well, the wage rate, big beat as well. There it is, 4%. Average hourly earnings year over year, 4% to the upside. Yeah. Versus 3.7 uptick as well. So overall, if you're just joining a little late here, 254 versus 130. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. That was a big beat there. Interesting look. Yeah, I was reading a report this morning that says we could have had a significant downside miss, especially with Helene, with some of the other issues that we've been having, the dock worker strike, some other stuff as well that could have been brewing in the background, Brendel. But this is a big beat with the employment rate as well. I'll have to keep an eye on how the market digests this. But now, does this put the cuts, do we get the other half-point cut that we were talking about, or are we going to get a little bit less?
Exactly. What does this do to Mr. Powell's narrative going forward here? Quick reversal here. It's worth noting, so we'll see if we can hold. I mean, the NASDAQ still holding up pretty well, but S&P back downside here to the tune of, I mean, we're still up 0.5%, 0.6 for the NASDAQ, 0.7 right now. But exactly, what does this mean for Jerome Powell and the alleged 50 basis points worth of cuts still to come before the end of the year? That is a huge upprint. Again, 254,000 versus 130.
Brendo, I need to show this chart. This is the 2-year. It's up almost 4.5%. And we were talking about 3.3 the other day. Now we're knocking the door of 3.8. Big move up as well for the 10-year, Brendo. 2 1/3, more than 2 1/4 right now, getting a big bump.
He even alluded to in the comments he made earlier this week about, let's see what the data tells us going forward. So here's his first indication of what the data is telling us. This is a weekly chart of the dollar. That is a huge pop off the lows going back to summer of 2023 for that DXY as well. It's Friday. This should spice things up, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. I think it might. There's no question about it. But let's be real. Did you think it was going to be a bad number before the election? Come on. Jobs are going to look good before the election.
Yeah,
that's how they roll.
I think it was priced in that. It was
let's wait for.
I mean, that's why it's pulling back.
Revisions are going to have to come in. Obviously, this is the last claim one because obviously when you have the dock strike, maybe affect things, which is now over. Maybe that'll affect things in the next one, but not this one. So you're still holding them out. You're still holding out the highs, right? Like you might have broken yesterday's tops and pull back a little bit, but we're still holding on the NASDAQ at least. I haven't checked the ES, but you're still holding above yesterday's highs. The ES, still holding above yesterday's highs, maybe not above its resistance. So I mean, all looks good. There's a lot of news today. So the good news, obviously, great number there. Dock strike over. Amazon looks great today, up a couple of points. Tesla's even up 2 points, maybe challenges that 250 level again. NVIDIA's up 1%. There's a story on NVIDIA. I don't think it's that big of a deal. The bad news, however, is Rivian had not very good delivery numbers and Save is going bankrupt. Potentially going bankrupt, which is so ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna try to only rant about this once or twice. How absurd is it that they wouldn't allow the combination, they wouldn't allow the deal to go through for Spirit Airlines because they're worried about competition and what that would mean. Oh, well, how about if they just don't exist anymore? And then their assets just get divided amongst all the big boys anyways. So Spirit Airlines, that's the bad news, down 31%. They might be going bankrupt here. Rivian, not very good, but everything else looks pretty darn good. Chinese ADRs have gapped up again. And wow.
Oh, boy.
The market's strong like Kirk Cousins' right arm.
Yeah.
I had to get that in there.
Primetime Kirk Cousins there. 9-3 as a primetime favorite now.
Michigan State.
9-3 as a primetime favorite.
What's Dak?
Dak? I don't know. He gets a lot of primetime games, man, that Dak Prescott. Every time Ramin's here, what's wrong? What's... Okay. So I'm the sticky note's coming out in a second, but the problem is I like Tesla breaking 245. That's gone. I like the futures breaking 20,100. That's gone. I mean, now the market's starting to go to the upside. That's a huge beat, man. I mean, 256. 254 versus 147. So I went over here and I did my due diligence a little bit, and I'm sure I don't know if Brendan has this right now over there or what he was going to do with it, but here it is right here. I just refreshed it to see where'd it go? I just refreshed it. There it is. So 60. Okay, so it is live updating right now. So 68%. That's just that 25 points. So 25 points coming November 7th. Is what the odds are right now. It was 69, 30, 31. I guess it's the same thing. Now 68% right here. So we'll just keep updating this as we get closer and closer, to the open of the day, and then we'll see if that is reflected in the market. But yeah, it looks like, oh man, all right, now we're gone. Tesla is now way off. It was my number one idea. We write this thing, when this thing's down here at 243, trying to take the 245 break. Now we'll have to play it as dip buys, but that's fine. We'll just continue to watch out for these stocks. And that's sort of the thing, right? When this number happens, you can either chase it right now or you have to let it sort of calm down. And maybe we start making new levels as we get closer and closer to 930. So for right now, the stocks that will be in play will still remain the same, but we came in, I don't have one short idea on here today, and that was before this number. So, all right, we'll go by. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm flat, so we'll watch out to see what happens here. I'm really happy with that NVIDIA. That was really nice. I got a little scared when that went down into 117 there, because I know that 115 breaks.
Oh, it's breaking out the top.
We're in a problem, and there goes NVIDIA. So I have Alibaba on my mind today, the triple Qs, which has been awesome. Amazon, Tesla, EV space. So yeah, Rivian down 9%. Maybe that's battling back. Where the hell's Randy?
It's down 6% now. Actually, Rivian is right back to prior gap support. Well, you know what? This is one that I feel like I'll be shorting pops in Rivian today. But just remember, this thing can squeeze.
Yeah.
You never really know where the pops are going to be. I thought this might go short sell restricted. I'm like, we could open up 10% down, and there might be like an SSR bounce on this at like 950 or something along those lines. Instead, like this low right in here, we just gap right back to it. I feel like the 1015 and 1030 zone underneath not yesterday's, but that was 2 days ago, would be Wednesday's lows. As long as you're underneath this, there's some room for a fade. But yeah, rising tides are lifting all ships today. I wonder if this is even strong enough to have made SAVE go up a little bit. Yeah, not really. No. I mean, you know what? It's different when you're going bankrupt. You're probably not going to rise too far in that bounce. I think those are the teams. I paid for locates to be able to short Spirit Airlines today. Just if there is a pop, I can see heavily shorted names getting a bit of a pop, but those two, you can't spin Rivian's delivery numbers and you can't spin bankruptcy. So I feel like those two for me are going to remain looking for spots to short.
All right, even the negative names bouncing on this number as well. Here's Rivian, still down 5.8% this morning, but huge move back above $10 right now for $10, yeah, for Rivian this morning. Cut their production forecast, said the part shortage specifically for the SUV and the pickup truck has gotten worse, and they're forecasting that it's going to remain that way at least into the end of the year. So not a good look here. And they also, I mean, the sales number was a huge miss as well.
It was a tougher look here, man. I mean, now they're expecting 47,000 or 49,000 vehicles produced by the end of this year. Prior to that, they had been talking about 57,000. Now, if they actually produce only 47 to 49,000, that's going to be less than last year. That's not a data point that you want to see. because you want to see year-over-year growth. There's obviously a slowdown in EV demand, Brendo. A lot of consumers going to hybrids instead of going to EVs to try to get that better range. But believe it or not, they're actually projecting their first gross profit in Q4 of this year. So they're trying to cut down on expenses, which is working. Let's see how they can do.
And it was interesting, they actually mentioned the delivery van in that as well, and how much of that gross profit is going to come from the Amazon contract. We'll wait and see. A few people still trickling in here and going, what on earth just happened? 254,000 versus 130,000 expected there for September non-farm payrolls. The unemployment rate, 4.1% versus 4.3%. So huge upside print there for jobs, guys. But thoughts on Rivian here? $10 coming into play.
Rivian.
Well, I mean,
I
okay, we can go for like a higher time frame look on Rivian and do some how bad is it not work?
We were just talking about it the other day, and it was like, I was like Polestar, I was like Ride, I was like Workhorse, I was like all these things. I don't know if we jinxed it. And
Why do you think Randy's not here today?
And he is here today.
Oh, he is here?
And I'm long that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm long it too. Wait a minute. I didn't see Randy here today.
That's funny because I pulled in today, and I was talking with my wife, and I said, oh my God, Randy's here. It's Friday. What the hell is he doing here? So maybe, I don't know, his car's there. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
there he is. Hey, Randy, what's going on?
Usually I've just seen him around by now. It's so when you zoom out the chart, it's not like it gets better with age, but okay. So the positives, not at the lows. So still room to the 830-ish bottom. We were just sort of going over this one. You're holding on to the higher low at that 10-15 area. I think there's a chance at an SSR bounce. Well, sorry. I guess a relief rally because it never went down 10%. It's got a 16% short float. I think that's the case that you get some kind of a bounce and that the market is strong. I mean, you got Tesla going up, you got the market going up. So I feel like this can get a move. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to be looking for spots to get into the short. Not now, but once we open up, as long as we're underneath the shelf, which is about, to me, it's up to 1030. I just feel like this is going to be a short the pop situation. Even if it breaks 1030, like, am I really not going to try to, if it gets to resistance at 1080 to 1090, like 3 days in a row, it was doing a rounded bottom. That's the worst part about this. Had they actually had good delivery numbers, you had a rounded bottom going into it, and there could have been a squeeze here. Now, if it squeezes, it's going to squeeze into resistance, which, as far as I'm concerned, is an opportunity to fade. But as Sean said, you know, like we probably spent a lot of time talking about Rivian because of this group, it may be the one that you can trade outside of Tesla, I think, the most. But if you look at Lucid, like Lucid's not that much better. I want to pull up this. You can see the rounded bottom Lucid's making here. But if you look at it on like a weekly chart, it's not as if these guys are any better. Like they all look pretty much the same thing. I would say here, Lucid, just looking at it now, 450 is going to be interesting if it can ever break that. Like, look at this little higher low consolidation, the 50 period, and all that good stuff. But there's a host of EV names that are not named Tesla or something out of China that look putrid. It's just not Rivian's day today, unfortunately. So I can't bring myself to be looking long on this stock. I'll just be waiting for an opportunity to fade. 1030, 1080, one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just break that bottom at the end of the day here, that 980. So nice bump up there on the number. It's already broken. It's broken below pretty much all the support that we thought we could have. But I mean, it's still right here. But has it broken? Yes. But is it still here? Yes. So I mean, you know, that bottom eventually of $859 probably gets tested. It might even get tested today. We shorted here. Remember when we shorted 13 and then it wound up going down to like 12 change and then 1180 or something this day, and it was just like, wow, what a huge move that was that we were not expecting. I mean, that sort of, now you're in that zone again where we broke this level right here, it's 1288, that's right. So we broke that level right there and we shorted it and then it just tanked $1. So that's something similar to what I'm seeing right now. Breaking whatever this level happens to be, and it's going to be the pre-market bottom of 980. Once we break that, it's see you later. The thing is that are we able to, let me just switch to 100 shares and 200 shares and see if we have,
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have shorts, so we don't have to pay for them right now, but I think this is a short all day. So, but again, the market, I don't know if I'll be looking at this trade right away. I'd rather play something that's strong and playing some pullbacks in some names like Tesla, for example. And we will get to this name as an individual name in a minute, but look at this move up there to 246.50. Here's the pullback into, and the sticky note's out, by the way. And now there's the pullback into 245. So, if we can open up in and around here, then I think some of these plays, there he is. See, I told you he was in the building today. I said, Randy, exactly.
I know.
So I was talking with Marissa, and I pulled up into the parking spot, and I said to her, oh my God, Randy's here, and it's a Friday. I said, this is amazing. So we have to, right, so there he is. He's here.
He
All right,
came
I
in
didn't
to
know if he
buy
had like a
Rivian.
late night bender and he just left his car there or something.
Oh,
but,
it's always fun.
no, is he still in shorts? Yes, he is. The shorts continue to be worn.
I have no idea. It's
around here.
so cold around here, but it's all good, man. Look, he's on the bid today. Hopefully, at some point we got to get Randy's thoughts on those delivery numbers in particular, because that is just they're not good, and there's no way to try to spin them. Before we go back to the desk, though, because Stan Hum has said take a look at Clover. When Obi came in, this is the first, like most times if like Obi comes in or traders come in on day like today, they might be talking about like the doc strike and Amazon looks really good. They'll talk about like Tesla or Nvidia. Like the first stock out of his mouth was actually Clover, which tells you something about what Clover's been doing the last couple of sessions here today. It's on an absolute tear. It's got a decent short float at 6.5. It's not huge anymore. It's 6.5%.
Right.
But it's been, like the stock has been upward trending since May, and now it's just going parabolic. It just recently broke out on the daily chart, literally yesterday, and we were waiting for $4 to break pretty much all afternoon. You guys can see it didn't really give you the $4 breakout trade. Now you're just gapping above. I mean, it closed literally at $4. Sometimes, if it doesn't break the low, there's nowhere to go. I mean, as long as it hangs on to $4, why do anything but look for the long continuation? When it made the breakout from $2, it went 5-6 straight days up to $3.40. It just made a break. This break has only been like 2 days, and then this break has only been one. So I think there's still some room for Clover to go. Obviously, $4. It's where it closed. It's a round number. It's where it consolidated yesterday. Kind of an obvious level there.
I just heard some really, really good news.
Well, what would that be? I heard it too.
Yeah, no, it always takes me by surprise on a Friday because I'm always like, and it comes every single Friday.
It's true.
But we just heard that we've got Michael Noss again.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So that's great. I actually wanted to, Michael, if you don't mind, because we don't normally get thrown back over to here, I just want to know what you're thinking about Bitcoin here in and around 60,000, if it's a spot to start accumulating a little bit, or if there's other levels that you like. So that was what I wanted to ask him. And, because we're friends, we're asking maybe we can figure something out. And then we also can't wait till he visits us again. Hopefully that can happen soon. So we'll find out all about this right now at the big desk.
I was cheers, Mr. Noss. Happy Friday. I was thinking that same thing the other day. It's been a long time since you were in the big city. We'll have to arrange another visit maybe. But yeah, give us your thoughts on Bitcoin here, and then we'll talk about why we should be short everything.
Maybe. Well, Bitcoin, again, my whole thing with Bitcoin is that I mentioned before, I love this giant cup and handle pattern that, we talked about with Neil on Friday and all of this. And it looks amazing, but Bitcoin does this thing where a lot of people think it's incredibly volatile because when it moves, it really moves. But I read some study that if you took the 20 best days out of Bitcoin's just entire return, it's about flat. So it does this thing where it just chops around for months or years even during the crypto bear markets, and then it makes these awesome moves. So for myself, I own a little bit because I did buy the most recent dip, but I just have orders at the all-time highs. Just, get me in when it's breaking all-time highs. I think that's going to be the way to play it. I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of money to be lost in just playing this chop, where it's just not going anywhere. So for me, it's a very much a patience game. I do think at some point we resolve higher. I think 100,000 at some point is going to occur. I don't know if that some point is next month, or it's wherever. I know I think I was on last Friday saying I think it was going to happen last weekend, and then look at what happened last weekend. So maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I'm just more of a jinx of Bitcoin than anything.
It seems to be the way it goes with that market specifically. It happens, when no one expects it. It's just randomly up 20% or down.
And I think that's going to be something that's going to occur, because we know at some point the markets are going to go 24 hours, right? We don't want it. It's going to some point. So I think learning to trade Bitcoin in this way, where you just set your order out and you walk away and you check on it once a week, I think that's going to be even how day trading and things like this are going to happen in the future. Is know your level, try to ignore it until it gets to that level.
All right, let's maybe, and this could come into play as well with Bitcoin, the election angle here. I saw an article, I was going to grab it, but I completely forgot to yesterday. I saw an article that was making the argument about an election year in general, but how often, what is the result of an election year when the market is at or within a couple of percent of all-time highs? So you have a good argument to the downside here.
Yeah, I'm going to make two cases, one of which is a bullish case, but I don't really have much to do in the sense of a bullish case, because I've just been bringing you guys, China and natural gas and uranium and all of this. So I'm pretty long already, and I just don't have any more buying power. I'm just one man. But I'm going to give you guys some ideas to the short side if this second thing occurs. So yeah, the first chart I have is one that I'll probably bring up a few times for between now and the election, which I hear is coming soon, which awesome. Maybe Twitter will return to normal when that happens. But this is, the blue line is essentially, if you took every election year, so every year that there was a US election, every 4 years, and you just averaged it. This is the average return separated by month. So this blue line shows a bit of a choppy September. We didn't get that at all, but I was expecting that. But from late September, October, and then the first part of November, a potential down move. On average, this happens. Doesn't always have to happen, of course, but this is on average what happens. And I think this has just a lot to do with the fact that, again, the uncertainty of what the next regime is going to look like. I'm sure there's a lot of management meetings happening at hedge funds saying, okay, if this person wins, let's do this, this, and this. But they're doing a lot of meetings right now. They're not doing a lot of active trading, which could, push this down. Again, this is the average that I'm looking at, and this is just how it occurs on average, but it's kind of in the back of my head for, okay, we're at all-time highs. We usually move up in August and chop around September. So if we're going to get this October, and I'm already long a lot of things, I just need to kind of keep those scenarios in mind. And then again, you can see, just not to be a doomer, after the election till the end of the year, generally speaking, you get a pretty nice run. The market likes certainty. I'm sure you've heard over and over again, and that happens early November, I think, is when it occurs. So next chart is the SPY, and this is just option one, and seeing some sort of news event that came out just before I popped on. This could be the bullish scenario where this prior support or prior resistance acts as support. We hold this very well, and this is just a launching pad that we've had to deal with this chop for a couple weeks, and we just launch into new highs, right? Again, that would be opposite of the seasonality, which says that we should chop around like we have been and then pull back, but that's a scenario. And I think it's a pretty clear line in the sand that if we break, that's like yesterday's low and the day before's low, if we break that and hold, then this might be this next scenario, which I have up on the chart here, where this is just a big bear trap or bull trap, where we break above highs, the market tries to get going, and then it can't. And then if we break below and close below that level, then now we have a whole bunch of longs trapped, and we have a whole bunch of shorts that are chasing us down. This is the bearish scenario. I don't know which one's going to happen. Seasonality says number two. I'm long everything, so I'm obviously hoping number one, but we have to plan and we have to have trades if it plans. So I've brought to you two shorts that come from the new Trade Ideas Trade Wave indicator that we're talking about of stocks that aren't participating in this rally. Because if I'm going to short something, it's going to be something that's not breaking to new all-time highs when the market is breaking to new all-time highs. Now, I fully admit I'm not very good at the short side. That's why I usually gravitate to the long side. Plus, the market generally goes up, so the long side's a little bit easier. But the two names I have, the first one here is SMCI. I know this might be a sore topic for some, down. Every time I talk about this, I seem to get a little bit of backlash, but we triggered a sell signal or short signal on the trade wave indicator, just signifying, again, this is a trend following indicator that we have in trade ideas, that this thing's in a downtrend and it continues to move down. I've heard talks about DOJ kicking down their door and all of this craziness going on. And I think it's dethroned Intel, if you at least look recently, as the weakest semiconductor in the world. So if semiconductors are going to fall, I have to bet that SMCI is going to be the worst of the bunch, where NVIDIA and these blue chip makers are going to be the better of the bunch. So SMCI, it's a very simple looking kind of bear flag to me. I would short if it broke the low of that giant candle. I'd be wrong if it broke above that giant candle. Expecting new lows on this. Next one is JFrog. Never even heard of this company, but I highlighted the monthly chart in the lower left-hand corner, just making new lows after new lows. Can't get going at all when this market is moving. This is something else in the tech space. Gap down on earnings recently, had some very, very bad news, slowly trying to grind up to fill that gap, and then yesterday triggered another sell on the trade wave indicator. So this could be another push down. My play on this would be to play against that gap. If it reverses and it starts to fill that gap and move higher, that's where I'm going to be wrong. So I'm just playing against the low of that gap to the short side. Now, I don't like being bearish. I don't like to be a doomer, especially when things are at new all-time highs as a trend trader. So I just want to make it very clear that these are, if that first scenario happens on the SPY, then these are probably names I'm going to lean on, and more of a hedge to an overall bullish portfolio than trying to think that, hey, it's the end of times and we have to heavily short the market.
Point to make, in the sense that you're not saying these are going to zero. It's just in case we get the breakdown of the overall market. So
yeah.
I was just saying to Sharif, just off camera there, I remember that IPO, that FROG, down 70% on that 5-year chart. So it hasn't been a good run for that one. So great stuff. Let's chat at some point, Mr. Noss, on maybe arranging another visit into Toronto.
That would be fantastic. There's now 2 children screaming around the house, so a little bit of a trip away would probably be fantastic.
Have a great weekend.
All right, talk to you Monday.
Thank you, Michael. So Frog is leaping lower, apparently. So, at the end of the day, you always want to go short weak stocks and long strong ones. So a couple of short ideas in there. You saw SMCI's chart. I mean, we argue, Rivian looks just as bad. I mean, I don't know what shows up on the trade wave set up there for Michael.
Rivian, it does not show a buy.
Probably breaks it.
Trade wave indicator does not show Rivian as a long.
It probably doesn't. I'm going to make the assumption.
I'm going to ask Michael.
No, but because the other side of it is like, okay, well, what are the longs today?
Oh boy.
Like right now, it's like everything, because we just broke the NASDAQ just broke the high again. I'm assuming the ES also broke the top, because obviously, yeah, of course it did. So both 5,800 on the ES, we're 2250. I almost want to say 2025. You guys know what we mean when we say that. So 2250 here, 1 1/4 on the NASDAQ, and 100 points till we get into any resistance. Meta, and I said this would be the truth, except I was wrong about it. I said every other day we're going to be talking about a Meta all-time high. It's like we'll get an all-time high, we'll take a day off, and then we'll have an all-time high. So we get 2 days in a row here on Meta. But everything just broke. Trying to find relative weakness, just on if we get like some kind of a pullback that isn't Rivian or Spirit Airlines, is going to be a little bit of a task, because there's so much that's strong, you can get overwhelmed.
Tim Rogers says, Pun Master Neil in the house. So
that wasn't even a good one.
I mean, guys, honestly, like these TQQs and the futures, I wanted to say the same thing. We've been looking at these for a very long time at 20,200, and we just broke it. Like, that was a huge level that we've been talking about for a long time. So I really, really like the long here today. For some reason, I really liked it before that number. Like I said, we had wrote this down. We tweeted it out. It's out there pre-numbers, and the market was up. It was still up. It was up 0.3. I just thought, hey, into a Friday, if this number, I knew the number was going to come better than expected. I didn't know better than expected, but I got that feeling. Didn't think we'd double it. I mean, that was huge there. But there it is, man, 72.25, like we're basically there right now, breaking higher through 73. I mean, this is going to be, this is the run right now. Did I close that Fed rate tool? No, I did not. Let me just refresh this and then pull it up for you guys one more time here. So it was at 68% for quarter points. Oh boy, oh boy. Man, we're on one today, baby. There it goes, man. 90% right there. So we knew that hotter job number would do this. So there it is, just confirming what Powell sort of already told us and what Brendan led off with. There's a quarter point here, probably a quarter point in December. Well, yes. So that's
we'll still get to the same place.
Yeah, so it's still quarter right now, giving us half by year end. So this is the December number coming at 425 to 450, and then November 450 to 475. So you're getting a 10% chance for 50 points, 90% chance for a quarter. And yeah, it just looks like they're just on that sort of dot plot, you know. As expected, upside moves. Things are breaking out, man. NVIDIA likes this number. Amazon likes this number. Apple likes this number. Everything's going. 228 again for Apple. Look at this. Straight to the upside here. Other names, we talked about some of the bank names as well coming with earnings a week from today. Bank earnings coming through. Look at this bump. Boom, $2 straight to the upside. Everything right now getting lifted. Let me just check oil just to see the energy markets right here. Okay, relatively flat. They're not going to care too much about jobs, but at the end of the day, yeah, everything right now getting lifted up. Even Bitcoin, guys, 61.8. Big time movements for Bitcoin. So, yeah, it's going to be a good Friday. I have a feeling it already is. So back over to the desk or back to the screen with Adara.
Upgrade.
A lot of continuation plays are names that have already been on this list earlier this week today for both the upgrades and downgrade side of things. Upgrades, we have HSBC giving Morgan Stanley the nod ahead of bank earnings, which are going to be kicking off next Friday, 1 week from today. CVS Health, we know a lot of catalysts with this one with regards to activist news this week, getting a TD Cowen upgrade. Diamondback Energy also upgraded earlier this week today, getting the nod from BMO Capital Markets, and Equinix getting upgraded here by HSBC Securities, up almost 3% this morning. The downgrade side of things, this is at least its second downgrade this week here for Stellantis from RBC Capital Markets today, though they are up on the day as the markets digest what's going on here with the early end to the port strike. Lee Auto getting downgraded here by Macquarie. Mobileye also in its second downgrade of the week story with a downgrade here from UBS. And last but not least, BofA Securities downgrading Chubb, guys.
Yeah, so with Morgan Stanley, we get bank earnings starting off, which is always going to be fun. See, but I know there's going to be something that is not a great-looking chart that wasn't the two names that we're talking about. Mobileye is an example of that as well. Though Mobileye is up 2%. Like I was looking for things that maybe hadn't broken out. But yeah, Mobileye, if there's enough of a move to the upside today, this has like multiple levels. If you just happen to be like a short trader, this is probably going to give you opportunities. However, there was something, I was scanning for things that might have not broken out past where we wanted to get in today on a lot of names. And I was thinking, okay, well, maybe Dell. No one pays enough attention to Dell. Maybe it hasn't gone yet. So I pulled it up because we were talking about this, you know, the higher low, the turnaround, blah, 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 all that stuff. Yeah, even this is gone. So Dell through that breakout. I think one of the themes that'll happen as we start to go through the rundown, I think obviously some of these double top highs that have broken out, I'm thinking Apple 227, like the Dell here at 116.5. If we do a dip at the open, it's going to give you an obvious place to look for some bids, right? Like those breakout levels that have obviously come and gone here. You got to look for dip buys. That upgrade downgrade list, I didn't see anything that caught my eye really, except for the fact that if Mobileye got $1 higher, it's probably an easy short.
Mobileye, yeah, that's a good one. I have to look at that for sure. I just went over to the banks. We already talked about what, first of all, up 2% right now is Morgan Stanley. There's a little gap right there. There's the open. We're going to open in and around highs again for Morgan Stanley. So this is going to be a name there on the upgrade. I mean, look, earnings, we looked at it the 16th. So October the 16th would be Wednesday. So not next Wednesday, they're a little bit later. So they're October the 16th coming through. So we have a little bit of time for this one. If JP Morgan beats a week from now, if WFC beats a week from now, if Bank of America beats a week from now, what do you think is going to happen to Morgan Stanley? You're already going to be over this. So if you want to get ahead of their report on the 16th, this could be a name that you sort of dig into a little bit here. And then you could even use this sort of bottom 105, 106. I mean, you might not want to get in today. Let's see. I mean, it's really heated up, the whole market right now. But there's USO, but there's Morgan Stanley just heading to the high side. Not only do we get this better jobs number, but then you also get the upgrade. So not much volume, but still trying to go Morgan Stanley. I think you buy this one ahead of the earnings report and just hope that those banks next week print well, and this name will be probably 120 by the time it even gets to their report. So Morgan Stanley on radar for sure.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here this morning. Sharif, we'll have a look at the market.
We closed out yesterday on the ES December contract at 57.50. We're obviously well above that now with the NFPs coming in and pushing these markets. We're already breaching 5,800. We've got to 5,803. So number one, if we ring the bell and we're above 5,800, let's see if we can defend it. If we can't, we're looking at that 57.75. If we hold 5,800 though and head up, we're looking at 58.25 as resistance.
What a move so far here this morning. If you haven't done so, go down to the description of this video. There's a link for the watch list. All you need is your email address, and we'll send you everything you need to know in the pre-market every single day for free. Again, link in the description for the watch list we send out every single day. Rivian, top of that list this morning. Here's why. 47,000 to 49,000, the new production guidance coming through for Rivian out this morning. Yeah, prior was 57,000. That's not good. Sales also downside, missing expectation to the tune of about 2,000 or 3,000. So not good right across the board here, although we are off the lows now.
Yeah, it's not a bad. Look, there is some good stuff in here that they're actually projecting to turn their first gross profit in Q4 of this year. We'll have to see how they do. They've been really shoring up costs, but some of the supply chain problems that they've been having have hurt them. As Brendo mentioned, you know, the guide is definitely down. But if they actually only produce 47 to 49,000 cars this year, it's going to be fewer than they produced last year. Not a data point you want.
No, struggling right now with $10 even here, guys, is Rivian this morning.
Yeah, we'll get to Rivian again, but I just wanted to get the super chat for Nick Dubs here. Appreciate you, Nick W. Thoughts on Blue, similar to where Clove was before its moves, earnings coming up, thinking it has move in it. Fundamentally, I don't know the company. You know, I don't know, I do not know Blue, but I can tell you it's a 25% short float. And if you look at what Clover did, let me just pull up the daily very quickly here for you. On Clover, you know, made that a while ago, made that bottoming pattern here, did a breakout, consolidated, then broke it out again, took the 50 period. Like you could have been in this at many, many points. When it took the 200 period, you didn't have to be early. Like when it made the more parabolic breaks, it had already been going for a week or two. So this has yet to even break out a consolidation of the bottom, let alone like the 50 period. Like let it make a round of bottom, maybe take something out. If it's going to do what Clover did, I mean, Clover went from penny stock to $4. You don't need to have something like that from the bottom. You just want to be after the uptrend. I mean, sometimes you get in early, that's up to you. But yeah, joining moves is always a lot easier. Speaking of joining moves, I kind of thought, and we'd said, Rivian, let's have it fill in some of that gap and look for some shorts. And Rivian didn't really oblige us all that much. All that strength that we had, we didn't really press into the 30s, the lower high. You got as high as $10.15 on Rivian. It's back above 10 even, so there's a couple of higher lows now in the pre-market. I still believe this market's going to drag Rivian up here, and then you want to be patient off the open. I'm still looking for shorts in Rivian, like Rivian and, say, Spirit Airlines. I don't see too much of a reason to get off that idea, but I want to wait for it to test at least the first big level in front of that 1030. If it just simply fails 10 even and can't hold the opening range above 10, then, I mean, 10's an obvious number to look short. But I'm not really thinking long here. I just can't bring myself to it, regardless of how strong the market is.
Yeah, I'm only thinking short. So I think right here breaking this 980 is something that we're going to have to take. I think it happens relatively early. Thing is, if he breaks it and it doesn't go, you can get out of it, right? And so we have $10 there as a limit. $10 is where VWAP is right now. $10 is where the 50-period moving average is. I think it's a short. I mean, you know, regardless, we can sit here and analyze the delivery numbers as much as we want. It doesn't really matter. We're not talking about long-term investment here. We're talking about what the momentum and what the trend is on this stock. The trend is down. There hasn't even been any update. Like the market's been on fire, you know, and this stock is like literally on fire. So it's just, you gotta understand what we're dealing with here. And I think Rivian's a short. So 980 breaker 19. I mean, we're there. I'm gonna hit it with some shares. So I hope it works out, and we're here for that. So I'm gonna play that level. I just have to make sure I'm here for it. Probably be chasing some longs maybe off the open. But this now, I said we didn't have any short ideas because we don't. But this is a short idea, breaking through 980. So Rivian should probably have been on the sticky note there. I just was not looking short. If it does bump up, I think you can fade it. But let's let that happen first. I feel like it will break 980. We want to be there. If it doesn't, then we'll see where it accumulates and then build a short position off that. So for right now, it's a short for me, and it's just 980 until we see confirmation of some accumulation spots.
All right, China back upside here this morning. It's funny, the U.S. side higher on the jobs report. China back downside now, coming off an early strong gap. So 2.6% here for Alibaba. I mean, we missed it earlier in the week. Whole bunch of stimulus announced by the Chinese government. There's also this week-long holiday happening until the 7th over in China, which, I mean, is a lot of travel, a lot of spending, a lot of shopping happening as well. So some credit being appointed to that as far as some positive moves this week.
Yeah, no question. There's also the EU coming in, Brendo, and actually imposing definitive tariffs on China-made battery electric vehicles, obviously with being supported by allegations of unfair subsidies. It is important to note that this was not a unanimous thing among some of the EU countries. Germany was vehemently against this. This was being pushed by France and some other countries. In addition to that, a lot of the European automakers like Benz, Beamer, Volkswagen, Stellantis, Volvo, all against it because they think it's going to cause a trade war, and they sell heavily in China as well. So we'll have to see how this all pans out.
Yeah, it's a great point. EV stocks specifically, definitely some relative weakness coming into play when you look at the ADRs by themselves. Still decent strength, though, elsewhere.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're with all this strength here, we might gap fill down on some of the Chinese ADRs. So I'm looking at Alibaba here and got a bit of a target zone because you're gapping around every single day. And I feel like if you do fill in the latest gap, if you lose the bottom now, because you're trending down when the market's trending up, I think somewhere in the 113 to 114. You never really know where it's going to settle down. Like the day that it absolutely tanked off another gap up, like it pulled into that support level at 113, got about almost a full dollar down and then reversed. So you never really know how spot on it's going to be. I feel you just have to be patient with it when it goes into your target zone. Look for a long setup, like a bit of a bottoming candle, high or low break back out of the range. Like that kind of a thing is going to be the play for me on Alibaba. And it's not the only one worth watching. I know a lot of people look at JD, but if what's the difference in the chart? Like if I think it's a gap fill, you could just say, okay, JD back into like 45 or something along those lines. There is a story on the EVs with Europe and more tariffs. So I think in particular, if you're looking at something like a NIO, the level's been pretty simple. There's a seller at $7 on NIO when it's been like here and here and here. When it was released, it kind of ran away. And then yesterday, it was just the sellers were winning again at $7. So I think it's an easy over-under for that stock. Like if NIO breaks out above 7, I think it's a long. Otherwise, it's like an opportunity to short that 7. I feel like if I trade one of them, it's going to be BABA if it tries to gap fill back in to those support levels. But there's so much to look at in here, I think you just pick the one that you like and grip it and rip it. I mean, JD and BABA have the same setup. Well, if you look at all the Chinese ADRs, they have basically the same setup if you're bullish. If it fills in the gap, you got like yesterday's closes and resistance to just dip by them for the most part.
We will be hopefully ripping on Alibaba today. So Baba on the sticky note here for 4. Hopefully a good play. It's a number 2 play. We like Tesla long here at 245. We like Baba long here, Fabian, at 118. So I think that's going to be a good one. Why not? It's hot again, China. You want to be short China into the weekend? I mean, that's basically what we talked about here. You want to be short China into the weekend? So we'll wait to see if that comes through. I really like the stock. I haven't tweeted out just a 5-minute chart on this. We're under VWAP though, but trying to hold the 50-period moving average. So long story short here, I like the 118 break. I mean, I think that we can get that. It was pushing it, but now it's coming back in. So it's getting faded a little bit right here. Here's 118. There is 119 higher than that. I just felt like that little 118 top that we had made, we sort of bounced back into that yesterday and then got hit. So I like to see if we can break out through this 118. So I'm going long on a push through. But the thing is, it got a nice move, but not really. I mean, it's U.S. jobs, right? But the thing is like, here's the move from 8 o'clock. Like it's actually gone down during this move. So yeah, I mean, it does not look like the rest of them. And maybe we're chasing the wrong name here. You know, names like Tesla's pulled back a little bit too. But here's the bump that this got at 8:30. Nothing from Alibaba, right? And so, yeah, maybe there is some relative weakness in the name. Not sure what it's doing down here, but I'm still looking at that 118 long break.
All right, let's go on to Amazon. Just took out the highs. Bit of a pullback right now, but nice day so far. 2.3% for AMZN. Aggressive language here on the headlines this morning. Mark Zuckerberg bulldozing past Jeff Bezos to become the second richest. This doesn't matter. As far as the stock is concerned, Jeff Bezos is fine. But Meta all-time highs if you haven't checked the chart.
$72 billion he's added to his net worth this year, Brendo.
Not
this
that
year.
couple of weeks.
No, that's a good look for Meta. All right, JMP Securities maintaining Amazon with an outperformance, a target of 265. Good look for them today, obviously, with the dock worker strike reaching what it looks to be a tentative agreement on wages. It's a nice bump up for them, 61.5% increase in wages over 6 years. But Brendo, I think we're kicking the can down the road because they still haven't reached a deal on port autonomy. That is going to get kicked down to about January 15th. Just keep the ball moving.
The delivery headline you were mentioning there as well, the potential 20 billion savings for Amazon if they switch over to autonomous delivery entirely. Mm-hmm. What that actually means as to
balance sheets.
Who's going to come to your door with said package is up in the air, I guess.
So Brendo and I were talking about this off camera. So the car drives itself, and there's a little drone that's attached to the car, Brendo. It drops it off right at your front door, and it goes back on its merry way to reattach itself to the car.
I have one positive thing to say about this. The drone will be more successful in punching in the entry code of a condo building than a human being typically
Agreed.
would be. So
no disagreement there.
Definitely better, I think.
Wow. I don't know about that, but the strike's over, man. Well, okay, they are kicking the can down the road to the 15th, as Sharif said. But look, Amazon, like everything else, is already broken out. So you have to contend with that on a day like today. The support level and the trend support and all that stuff that we're looking at 183.5. Which led to some 184 opportunities, recently. You had 1 day underneath it, and now you have this day of liquidity grab and then gap back over. However, there's right in here, it's kind of like exactly where we got to on the number is about 186.70. And before yesterday, you had multi-day resistance at that level. So Amazon can still break out this top. If we dip, do you get 183.5? I kind of feel like that's pretty unlikely. So I'd probably look at something like the 185, like this close here, or yesterday's pre-market highs, 184.5. I'd be looking to pick up dips here in Amazon. I love the fact that you liquidity grab, then it's like it never even happened, and you can resume your bull run on Amazon. So it's got to break out 186.70, and then dip buys. I think usually in this situation, you kind of just play it by ear. I know. Obviously, I like 183.5, but if it falls that far, and I haven't found another place to go long, I think that's a bit of a mistake. But the breakout, I think, can happen right away.
All right. Yeah. Again, exact same stuff, man. I mean, we've been trading here, looking at big caps for a while this week for sure. I mean, as the NASDAQ continues to, I mean, obviously that wick doesn't happen right down there. That'd be nice. Oh, I'm long 182 right now. But no, look, I wrote down here, I just got to confirm, I wrote down here on Amazon 186.50 as well. So there it is right now. Amazon 186.50. I really like that trade. Breaking out there, long break on port talks, needs to hold this 184 support. Well, we wrote that down before. Obviously, go find it at Trader TV, Sean, both on Instagram and on Twitter. But we wrote that down when it was down here. Before this number came out. So we really liked it. Look where it came up to and stopped, 186.50. So yeah, that's going to be a good breakout long, that's for sure. We'll see if it goes 186.50 here on Amazon. Looks like the thing to do. Meta right now breaking higher. I mean, 184.50. We said as long as it holds 184, it looks like it's going to do that. We'll have to fix that wick. That's pretty bad that it looks like that. But there's 186.50. It even looks better now that it's already been the top. It's just a matter of, do you want to take it off the open? Do you want to take out these tops off the open quickly? One name I didn't even look at, it was like a #1 stock. Wow. Palantir is back to $40 again. And wow, what a run this name has had. Yesterday, we had the 38 long. We had the 39 long. Will we have the 40 long? If the answer is yes, you're probably right. This name is a huge one more time. Congratulations to everybody that's doing this on Palantir. This has been like, it's been basically a dream, this stock. So I don't know. Let's just keep on going. Upside with PLTR. We asked Danielle Shea about this one. She's like, what in the heck? So yeah, we're impressed with holding this. If it breaks maybe below 36, you have something to worry about. But for right now, $40 incoming on PLTR.
Let's talk some airline action this morning. Downside for Save here, 145, 35%. We just tried to get back above 150 right now and failed pretty miserably. If you haven't seen yet, the potential anyway of bankruptcy imminent.
Thanks, Lena Khan. No, I'm kidding, of course. But this is as a result of Spirit and JetBlue not being able to merge together. And now Save is struggling with debt, as it's reported aggressive losses in the past quarters. They're also re-exploring options to try to get out of bankruptcy before to restructure their balance sheet. They're in talks with bondholders right now, trying to get ahead of this bankruptcy situation. But it's a substantial amount of long-term debt that they have. It's not short-term debt, so getting out of it is going to be a little bit tougher, Brendo. So we'll have to see how they survive here.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, as you said. But is there a trade here today, guys, for this?
Yeah, I think so. I feel the same way about this as I do Rivian. It's just that this one might have a wider berth on it for Spirit Airlines. It came from 224 down to 130. I think obviously pre-market highs, pop and fade. 175 is the midway point. So if it breaks out the high, I still want to look short at 175. Now, we had to pay for locates here at Real Trading. They were dirt cheap, essentially nothing. It was like a fractions of cents. I'd have to double check to see exactly what it was. So we can go short today. If there is a break of 155, if it's not just a pop and fade at the open, then I think 175 is the spot. If it's going super strong above that, then I'm not going to fight it at that particular point. I think it sucks that the deal wasn't allowed to go through when everyone said, hey, if they can't do this, they're probably going to go bankrupt, and it's not good for anybody to going bankrupt. I'm not happy to see it, but this like Rivian is on the short list today for me.
Yeah, I was just, I'm not, why did I just type in BA and whoopsies? I'm updating the news version of Trade Ideas. Okay, so right there, Boeing. I just want to have a quick look at this one because it's near that 150 level as well. We've held off at 150 breaking. If there's some more negativity, I mean, again, the market kind of saved this here. I mean, has it saved it? I don't know, but for today, maybe. I just want to look at this 150 level. So that's coming through right now on Boeing. So just watch out for a little dip in that one. We talked about the Jets ETF. If you are looking, I don't think save maybe in here. But at the end of the day, nice move to the upside in this ETF as well. So yeah, I think that there's different ways to play all these stories. But I like that Boeing down there near 150. See if it can hold that. If it breaks it, I think it's a definite short down there to 145.
Wrap it up with semiconductors here. Still a few minutes to go, but definitely more positive than the rest of the market right now, that's for sure. 1.6% here for NVIDIA, trying to stay, it tagged 125 a couple of times already. No real significant headlines this morning supporting these, but man, what a couple of days it's been for these.
It's already up 1 2/3, Brendo, here, despite the fact that it's got an interesting headline here. The Department of Justice and the SEC are backing a class action lawsuit to take on NVIDIA. Specifically, what they're alleging is that they misled investors about their cryptocurrency revenue. They actually generated money from mining or sales of these GPUs for cryptocurrency, but they reported it under their gaming sector, and they're saying that they misled investors like that. This lawsuit was actually stayed, but it's being reignited now as the DOJ and the SEC file an amicus briefing, so we'll have to see how this all works out. Not really a big deal for on the day, though.
Yeah, clearly. Just straight upside this morning off this jobs number. Just seeing Ford popping up I'll double check on that, but just heads up, anyone watching Ford.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I can't bring myself to understand why that story is going to be a big deal. Like what is their gaming revenue even up like $3 billion? Whatever. It doesn't. I don't think it's that big of a deal. We're up 1.5 points on Nvidia. Obviously, the breakout levels. You know, when you sit down, the number can go either way on jobs, right? So I kind of was feeling you had 121.50 is that low, and then the 122.50 breakout level. Where we were kind of felt, okay, Friday, dip and rip was going to be the play. I think you just change. I'm just changing the goalpost a little bit here, I suppose, because now that you're above 124.5, which is the next resistance, I'm talking about NVIDIA, obviously, as you can tell. If we break down, I look over here, it's like 123.3, and then 122.5 is still a good level. So you can still go to the dip buy as a general thesis. If the market continues this ridiculous run, then I think, well, great run, I should say. It's not ridiculous, nothing ridiculous about it. Then Intel could come back to that 23 to 23.30 area. So that's always going to be played. If we're sitting around like midday and we have a consolidative level like this, underneath 23.30 on Intel, then actually that would be another stock that I would look for the short. But as far as NVIDIA goes, you know, all the key levels for the dip buy, if we lose 124.50, I'm looking at 123.1/3, just have to adjust that, and then 122.5. Which is what we liked anyways. If we see 121.50, I don't know that I probably don't like it down there if we get there again. That would have been off the number.
I was going to say here, AMD seems to be pretty strong today as well. NVIDIA up there to 120. Yeah, I want to see NVIDIA at 130 really before I get a little carried away with it. But I don't know. NVIDIA was my #1 stock yesterday. I'll probably go back to it. I'm trying to look at something else, though. All right, so 169 here on AMD. That could break 168.50. I mean, what a great move it is upside now, Fabian, for AMD as we continue to go. So there's bouncing off 166.50. That could be something. 165.50 is also VWAP. So if we do get a little bit of a pullback here, would not be surprised at all to get that right now off the open. What about 165.50 right here for AMD? That looks pretty good to me. Right there. So again, a level break there. Like, let's pretend that the market wasn't as, you know, sort of exuberant about this jobs number, which it should be. I mean, that was a huge print. So I'm fine with where it is. But there's the break right there, 165.50. So that could be a play if we do get back there. So that's about $1 lower. I'm pretty comfortable putting a bid there. So why don't we do that? We can put a bid down there for AMD. And then breaking higher, I mean, I was just looking at it with you guys. This would be 169. So that's also in play right now. Like $1 higher, I guess now it's 250 higher. That might be a little bit of a problem. I guess when it was 167, well, anyways, it's all right there. So I like a 165.50 dip buy. And I want to check, we have 3 minutes still until the opening bell goes. So just hold on. There's Palantir. Did it break yet? It's probably going to break 40. So the thing is, not probably, will break 40. I just don't know right off the open if we want it. It's resisted it a couple times. Maybe let it break 40, settle down, and then we'll go with it. Who knows? Rivian is a buy, so that's helping it stay northbound a little bit here. That's Rivian. Alibaba continues its move lower, but does have a bid on it, bouncing off VWAP. We'll wait for that one. I do have a bid to break that 108, sorry. 118. I don't know if that's going to matter because that's not here right now. So Alibaba looking to break through 118. That could be a trade for us later on. And then other than that, I'm not seeing too much. We wanted Tesla at 245. That's broken upside as well. So a couple plays if there is some dip buys. The problem with playing dips is like,
you got to be patient.
Yeah. What if this retraces quite a lot?
Speaking of that,
the open, but
Meta retraced everything.
Oh, there.
For a brief second there, Meta went red as it pulled back about $5. Now, keep in mind, most of the big caps, like the Mag 7 names, aren't printing all-time highs here. Like Meta's the one that's printing all-time highs. So a pullback, maybe there's just some profit taking happening. It's very different from the Apples and the Googles in that regard in terms of where it's going from. So Meta all the way back. We just should have had NASDAQ imbalances come through, but that didn't change anything. I don't even see any. Yeah, there's some NASDAQ names, but yeah, I didn't really see anything of significance. None of the Mag 7 names are there. I wanted to quickly mention Remember all that accumulation on Apple at $227, like right in here. There you go. Just the other day, the bottoms were about $226.75. So if there was a ridiculous sell zone that couldn't let that strong move go any further, Apple in the bottom of that range. It's about $226.75. I kind of marked off the top of the range because we were under it, but now that we're over it, I should be doing a little bit of this as well. So Apple going to be in play for me. And just as I say that, when we're dipping back in, Apple goes right back to the high. So I guess we're probably not going to see a dip buy on that. Rivian, want to look pop and fade. Still think that can be a short. We went over NVIDIA. I feel like we got through pretty much everything that we wanted to in that watch list. And then for everyone out there in the Clover game, with 30 seconds to go, that is still holding on to that $4 level, which refused to break out in yesterday's trade. So it's still holding on above $4. I think kind of gives you an easy over-under level for continuation on Clover. Friday's bell, last bell of the week, brought to you by Firefly Neurosciences, revolutionizing brain health. Great story, great look. Adara, for the last time this week, ring it.
All right, thank you, Adara. All right, we're going to watch Alibaba. We're going to watch Tesla. Tesla is gone, by the way. Amazon's probably gone in a minute as well. We're going to take 186.60 if that breaks higher on Amazon. Get ready for that one. But there goes Tesla, man. We said it was gone. There it is, 247.50 right now off the open. We wanted 245, but what you want doesn't mean you're going to get that. That is for sure. There goes Tesla all the way to the upside. Alibaba fading, so we don't have to worry too much about that stock. Amazon, AMD. The bid that we liked was that break through 169. That still has a minute to go. I don't know if we're going to get there on AMD quite yet, but that would be 169 or so up there as that continues to motor on. Everything is trying to go higher. The only one that was close for a break for me was Amazon, and that's fading back out just a little bit here. So we sort of thought there could be a little bit of a fade play on it. I've lost too much money sometimes being wrong early, so let's just make sure that we're right. We'll let Amazon settle down there. 185.50 is VWAP.
Yeah, I got to let it calm down a bit. Rivian's starting to head to the upside. We'll let that one slow down before we try to jump in front of it. Spirit Airlines is not open yet. So, yeah, I want pop and fade in Spirit Airlines, but doesn't look like that stock is open. Rivian heading to the upside after their bad delivery numbers. We're trying to fill in that gap. We don't want to take it on the front end. We want to let this one calm down, make a high that we can observe and play off of. So, we said with everything this high, you might have to wait patiently for some dip buy opportunities because everything broke most of the levels that we're looking at. Right. Apple hasn't dipped into my zone either. So, yeah, you're just going to have to play patient. When you go up 1.5% or 1.25%, sometimes you have to wait for your long entries. But, yeah, Rivian might be that entry now as it's just made a bit of a top.
Yeah, Tesla's trying. I mean, everything's trying to go for some reason. The futures aren't really doing anything right now. They're just hovering around 20,200 again. So that's going to be a pretty key level for us. Amazon just went all the way to the top and stopped again. So that's going to be a trade here. I'm still taking this break, by the way, if we break that top there. So let's see if it does go through 186.60. Trying to be patient here. Getting a little... I'm not getting anxious, but I mean, I'm just hoping that something can hit soon for us. Alibaba's trying to hover around 115. It's trying to hold it, but it's under the 200. If anything, this is looking like a short, especially with the market pulling back in a little bit here. So I just don't know if I'm brave enough to short Alibaba, but we can do it and look at it for now. It looks like it's a short up to that 115.50. So let's take something here. Oh, now it's starting to break a little bit lower. I'm just gonna, I just tried to punch 70s and it went to the downside there. So we missed this Alibaba push. There it is. So we're a little short now. I'm going to give this to 115.50. I don't necessarily love this trade. I told you we're getting a little bit impatient there, but 115. Got to cancel my other Alibaba trade.
Cancel the breakouts.
Right there and cancel some of the breakouts. So, yeah, 115.50. If we break back higher on Alibaba, we'll get out. But right now, new position, it's short Alibaba. And there it is, Neil. It's 50 cents in the money. And we'll take a little bit of a bid right there early on Alibaba. We'll go 1 for 1 on that one. Let's see if it gets lower, though. No chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, definitely no chickens before they hatch for myself because we got into Rivian on the way back in. We're able to get out some in the pre-market high. So I got out of more than half of it because in front of the pre-market high, there was a buyer for 150,000. It was very, very obvious. So I got most of it out. I'm going to look for a reload off of those highs. The chips are very, very weak right now. So NVIDIA is really starting to come back in. That 123 level is likely to come into play. Spirit Airlines is now opened up. It just dipped off of 150. So I'm going to I was about to put the order in, and then it kind of tanked down a couple of cents. Okay, I'm gonna get it back on the offer at 45. I want to get short in here. It's VWAP, but it doesn't really matter. Give it to the local top here on Spirit Airlines. So as market's rolling over, the things that we wanted short are what we're gonna play in. You have to get on the offer to get filled on Spirit Airlines, down 35%. Obviously, it is short sell restricted, so SSR, you need an uptick to go short on this name.
All right. Man.
Tesla's holding up nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Alibaba here. We can look at Tesla. I was, all right. I'm going to take out one more piece in the 50s if we can get it on this name and then cancel my 30 just to take something out there. There it is. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see now if we can have the diamond hands. So we're 50 cents in the money. I mean, we're trying not to play around. I mean, we're trying to give you guys the good here. So we're going to go short now on that and then just see. But we are short now on Alibaba. And again, we talked, oh boy. Oh boy! Oh my! We're bidding 114.14s. Put those 1414s on your mind right now. As there goes Baba to the downside. So a quick little 70-cent winner for you there to start the day. We'll go 1 for 1 there. People saying Palantir blast off. We'll see. Yeah, see, there's that problem. There's the dip down, right? We said that there could be some issues up here. $40 is pretty darn key, but it could get going, right? We'll wait to see what this market wants to do. Alibaba, I don't know. Let me put a bid in the mid-30s right now. Take another piece out of Alibaba.
Amazon's about to break.
Good.
Any second now.
Let's go.
No break. Every time I stare at the breakout, it doesn't happen. I'm like the ultimate jinx when it comes to that. So yeah, I said we're about to break out that top. There we go. It just kind of took out that pre-market high. There was a wick top there above 70. You know what? That did not break the high. Spoiler alert, we did not take out the top on Alibaba. Might have just had a bit of a wick. Oh, sorry, on Amazon, you're in Alibaba. So I'm just gonna get out. So now it breaks. Of course now it breaks, as I took some out flat. I'm still in a little bit, but I'm gonna be adding to this. I am still short Spirit Airlines as it heads down, but Baba, I'm adding through 147, and I'm gonna add back in on the dip. That was a weird trigger.
And of course, by Bobby, you mean Amazon, and 147, you mean 187. But you know what? It's the big bang trade right there. Your boys got it right now. It's 186.70. It's a sticky note monster trade of the day. One more time. We're in this one. Let's go, man. We're short. Look, man, we're short Alibaba, but we are long on Amazon right now. Let's see if we can get it a little bit higher. Let's take some more out here as we hit that name and get going on Amazon. Let's go. Nice trade on that one. Nice trade on Alibaba. Hopefully a better one on Amazon. Let me get another piece out here on Alibaba. Whatever, man. There it is. Yes, sir. Oh my. Spin it again, man. We're just cashing out both sides. 2-time, one on the short here with Alibaba. That's 50 cents. Amazon right now, 50 cents. It's a print machine over here. What's up at there?
Team here for Reddit. RDDT up about 4%, making new high of days here as we speak. I'm not seeing any news on this. Decent amount of social media attention and more coming in as we speak. It's also worth noting here too, this is about 55% insider owned, and it has a short float of about 7% here for fairly recent IPO RDDT, guys.
Hot minutes. It is kind of recent, I suppose, on Reddit, but I'm not going to be in that one. I'm out of Rivian. We're adding to Amazon on the way back in as well. The other thing that's going to come into play here, I don't know that I love what's happening on NVIDIA right now. Like, NVIDIA is bleeding while the market, I mean, it's not bleeding. When the market's coming back in, it's one of the weakest things. So the chip names are not obeying. Going to wait for that pre-market low in there off of 123 before we do any dip buying. Spirit Airlines, we did get a third of it out, roughly, as that came back into the 140 range, I should say. So now that it's down, I feel like we're just going to be shorting pops until you break out that local high. So you have to be careful with this. Amazon's still holding up pretty nicely. Apple was the other one that we wanted for a dip buy. Apple's still looking very, very weak. So if there's no green, then there's no need to play it. Like, just like NVIDIA, this does not look very strong. So I don't want to be sitting on the wrong end of the trade. You can catch it on the back end. When it starts to look strong, then we'll start to play it. Like, Amazon's breaking highs when the market is looking weak. That's what you need to be in.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, exactly. You need to be all over all of these plays, man. I mean, hopefully you guys are on top of it, right? We have this note out here. There it goes. We'll take another fill right here. It is your trade, the third trade on here. The first trade was Alibaba, was Tesla. We missed that long, but man, oh man, did we take that Amazon long. We even opened the show saying we're sitting here looking at Amazon for that long. So far, so good there. Tesla is just Rip City right now. Wow, this is going to be a dollar club here on Amazon very soon, guys. All right, Tesla right now, look at this, up to 250 right now. What a good dip buy opportunity there was right there. We missed it. We wrote down 245. We're sitting here at 245 and a quarter, but that only gets as low as 246 and a quarter before finally ripping upside now. All right, Alibaba has fallen off a little bit here, so we like the way that's looking for us as we get some more shares on Alibaba on the high side right there. So a good little short. Let's cash out on this short though, as we'll take advantage of it. So a nice little play here on Alibaba. Reloaded that into that short there. We just got 105.25s there on Alibaba. So yeah, man, this name's starting to print for us as well. Other way around though, right? So other side on the short there for Alibaba. So far so good. Let's just keep it going. Alibaba short, Amazon long, and so far so good with the good vibes today in the market, right? It's been so far so good here. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Alibaba's now 20 cents and getting lower. Let's put another bid right here for Alibaba. Can we get those 84s? There it is. It's 30 cents again there on Baba. Wow, this has been a great afternoon, a great morning. Good afternoon. There goes Amazon, still going higher, Neil. Wow, we're at our day's goal already. 2 for 2 there today, man. Short Baba, 50 cents in the money on the reload. That's how much we liked it. And then Amazon, of course, nice upside move, maybe 187.50.
It just tagged the 50. I grabbed some 45s out in front of the 50. The high of the day in Amazon is right underneath that 50 level. Now I want to dip buy it again, but if it's not going to give us the dip buy back into the breakout price, so the 187, we'll have to look for a trend long. NVIDIA is really starting to go. So all of a sudden, NVIDIA, it was just above 124.5. It just failed it 2 seconds ago. I thought we were holding that higher low, and we're going to look for the longs above here. We're just going to have to wait. Yeah, still not looking incredibly strong over there on NVIDIA. Tesla's getting very close to the 250 level, so we're at 248. I think I like 51 a bit more for a breakout on Tesla, and the reason for it is because of all the selling at the 50. You got to clear out the 51 for me for it to be a breakout long. Otherwise, the 50 is still undefeated as a short level. You can always buy dips. But Apple is not showing any signs of slowing down. So Apple just hasn't found any support. It's not time to pull the trigger there yet. I feel like NVIDIA might be getting close to putting in some kind of a base that we can work off of. But still looking relatively weak here. The market's pretty flat up at these highs. Want to be careful with NVIDIA. It's making some lower highs. Don't want to get in early.
Yeah, man, we are... All right. I mean, Alibaba is just props up for that one, man. I mean, the fact that we were able to get a short, like in this crazy hot stock, pretty happy with that. Let's see how far we can go now down on Alibaba. We're almost $1 in the money on Baba short right now. We'll see if we can cash that soon. It's 80 cents right now. Amazon, this is 80. So we have back-to-back 80-cent winners, and they're the other way, right? So one is long, one is short. We just stick with our guts. That's it, man. We talked about what we were doing today, and here it goes. Look at Amazon, 187.50 trying to go. Alibaba just got a little bit of a bump there. I don't know what that was about. We were just at 114.50. So let's put another bid. I don't know. We have shares. We just keep getting it out. Right now, our stop on this is 115.50. So we talked about where we were going to stop out on this name, right? So it's a 200 period. It's VWAP. If it, you know what, man? Let's make it real money. All right, let's see if this can go down even more right now for Alibaba. So I'm going to keep my bid here in the 30s. Let's see if we're right underneath VWAP. If we're wrong, man, we'll take 30-cent hit. I'm sitting right now in 30-cent winner. So if we can, properly manage our trades, that's the way we should be doing it. So 187.50 now on Amazon. Again, I like the stock. We're still in it. This is a big trade. One more time. Tesla up there at 250. We missed it yesterday or the day before, and we'll see if we can grab it today, man. I mean, it's getting close. 250 upside for Tesla.
It's getting very close. Like whether it's Tesla or NVIDIA that makes that last push. I don't know. I'm looking at NVIDIA right now, but I got Tesla on the rear view as well. So here comes another dip opportunity in Amazon. If it pops underneath 167, I think it's an obvious zone, but the 187, I should say, is also starting to come back in there. So I'm going to get on the bid at 187. First high just got taken out on Spirit, and we're out of that one. It just took out the pre-market high. We're short once. We reloaded in front of 150. If it breaks the top, 175 is the only other place that I want to look. So either under here or the 175 zone. So coming back in is Amazon. We just reloaded that at 187. Previous breakout is where we want to jump out of it and then work back into VWAP. Still only want to be looking long for them. NVIDIA's not doing anything. Tesla's still at 284, 248. Doesn't want that 50. And Apple, it's starting to catch a bit of a bid, like a little confirmation. I mean, Apple was just a little bit too weak for my liking here to just jump into this one willy-nilly. Rather see something that's strong set up again, like Amazon and maybe like this NVIDIA. Tesla's now breaking the high of the day. All right, Tesla's going to get there first. I thought maybe NVIDIA was on the run, but it's going to be Tesla that gets there first.
All right, we got something out there on Amazon in and around that 187 as it did dip a little bit below there. So we did get another piece out there for just 40 cents. But we're going to wait to see here because if this market crashes in, we do have Alibaba. So I feel like we're okay with that. But again, you know, you never know. So we're going to sit here and hope that this market will pay us out here on the Alibaba short and the Amazon long. But we are getting out. So remember what I was saying, right? Like we've scalped out some of this. I only have about 20% left of this long, looking to reload it. I mean, I think that there's nothing wrong with ever trying to reload your positions, but at the same time, I think we have numbers coming out. Let's go over to Adara.
There actually aren't any other numbers today, but I did want to let you guys know here about the strength in JetBlue. JBLU, this one is making new high days, up about 18% right now and counting. From what I'm seeing, this could potentially be a sympathy play or I guess an antipathy play with what's going on here with Spirit Airlines, SAVE. As we know, there's actually a judge blocking a merger between these two companies earlier this year. As such, now we have a couple months later, of course, we have Spirit reportedly looking into bankruptcy as reported by Wall Street Journal. So JBLU, for whatever reason here, to the upside. We do have a short float of about 20% for this one as well.
Over there, no more numbers today. I thought maybe that's why we were going over to Adair, but there could be Fed speak and stuff. So that doesn't matter. That's
no, that was at 9 o'clock. Never mind.
It's not 9 o'clock.
Never
Okay,
mind.
so yeah, so that's not affecting any of my positions anyways right now. But I just wanted to. It's always good to know if there was something all of a sudden coming out. We saw that number today on the jobs number and how important that was. But here we go, man. We said let's make some real money. So I hope you guys are with me. Here comes Alibaba. Let's go, Alibaba. Put that dollar club winner right back into our pocket right now. We're bidding 114.30s. We talked about that. Remember, we were going to bid 114.70s or 80s. We decided not to do that and give ourselves another chance here at Alibaba in case it does want to fall down, in case this market wants to give something back, in case this market decides that, hey, we already know the Fed rate is getting cut by 1/4 of a point. Now that's basically solidified. It's 90% now. So we sort of know the path, what's forward. Let's just see if it goes. Looks like we'll miss that Alibaba print down there by 10 cents. So now we have to be even more patient as we wait for that play to come through here. So Alibaba right now gets down into 114.40s. We'll still be patient and wait for that 30 level, but we just did miss it. Good play for us on Amazon today, and that will be the one that we wait for now to see if we can get a little bit of a bounce back higher through those highs. Failing right now.
It just got from 187 again to that 187.5. I played the rebound. I got 8s in there off the 187. We took some out in front of that lower high. I don't like that it's a lower high, especially with the market looking like this. Like we haven't actually had a green candle on that 15. So you are getting a little bit of weakness back into the market. It's still a relatively strong name. We're going to stick with the long. If we lose the breakout price, that's kind of an easy punch out. And then Tesla is now at adjacent to the 250 level. It just got to 249. Again, this is what happened yesterday. It got to 249.75 and then didn't make that push into the last quarter into 250. And then that ended up being the best short you could have was 249.75. I feel like today is a little bit different on Tesla. But I have 250 marked off. I like a break at 251, not 250. Because 250 is resistance till it's not. I'm looking for a fail break, and I think that can be a reversion trade. And then 51's the breakout for me. NVIDIA is not setting up at all for a long. It's still looking pretty weak here. It needs to make some higher lows. I'm not jumping into it too early. Thank you for the super chat, Darcy. Zim, You want to look at Zim.
The shipper.
I mean, nothing's really setting up. We're just in the reload on Amazon. Zim is down 13%. It is trending down. It is SSR. There might be some kind of a SSR bounce play if this gets to this level here on the daily, like at $18. So it's bleeding right now for Zim. I think $18 might be a spot just because it's down 10%, but they're not on my radar to trade. Not the opportunity that I'm looking for. Okay, Amazon, this is the time you got to break that high.
Yeah, let's go Amazon.
So, at some point you got to take out this top.
Yeah, let's go. It's funny because we're looking at Amazon taking out the top, and I'm looking at Alibaba taking out the bottom right now. So hopefully that can withstand something here, and we're able to get that 30 print. Remember, we are bidding 114.31s. That's twice we could have had 40s. Maybe we're being a little stubborn here, and we should just maybe take this out. But here it comes, 37s, 38, 39s, 40s. All right, forget it. I'm going to take, whoa, we got it. Cancel. Good. All right, there it is, man. Fire off that hot dog cannon. We get 41s, so we put in a 41 there. Good trade to get that fill for sure. But we'll see. I just didn't want to be too frugal with that one. I mean, if it was just going to keep on bouncing there, we've got some wicked trade in our pocket. We might as well continue to take that trade, right? So we'll take it out there at 40s. My apologies, just 80 cents. We'll work on a dollar club for you in a couple minutes. But hopefully that continues to fall down, man. We're just trading 2 stocks. It's 2 for 2, and we've hit our goal. So it's a big day here today. Let's just keep on going, right? That's all we can do. Adara?
ADTX here to the upside. This is a small cap trying to make new high of days here right now. Up about 55% is Aditext. Not seeing any news on this one from today. Yesterday they provided a shareholder update, but the float in market cap is really worth noting here. From what I'm seeing, market cap of $380,000. We have a float here from what I'm seeing of 130,000 shares. So very small float and market cap for ADTX today, guys.
Good look there. Oh, speaking of those low float or smaller names, Clover lost $4. So I just noticed that. It's an easy kind of over-under level. We're consolidated in the afternoon. If this can't get back above 4, I'd be worried about a bit of a gap fill into the previous low. But look for it to recover the $4. Then it can resume that trend to the upside. But it's looking pretty weak here. You broke the high of the day on Amazon, got to about 187.60, and that's it. So you're still looking upward trend here, starting to look a little bit better. Tesla still has not broken 250. That doesn't look all that promising. Rivian is back underneath VWAP. So I'm looking, now that you've done a pop and fade, I was in it once for win, once for loss. Now it's back underneath VWAP. We're going to short the next available pop in Rivian. It's about to break out that 10. I think it bounces off 10 before it makes that move back into the upside. Tesla, yeah, it still cannot break 250. That's just, it's a short till it's not. You can want it to break out, but Tesla is not obliging even a little bit here. I want this Rivian, want to get back into it. Got the front end, we're looking for the back end of the trade now.
We're feeling some kind of ways again today, guys. Alibaba is now at the low of the day. So there it goes, man. We pick a name that's not only stronger than the market, but we were just felt the short early. And we said that all the time. The number one thing about trading is going to be instinct. You got to be able to know when to pull the trigger and what opportunities look good. And sometimes what you think early might be changing. And that's been my biggest losers, is when it's like I get stubborn and I just stay on the same kind of a play, even though it's not working. And right there, Alibaba today, we identified that it was a short, not a long. So we just took 2 shorts there, and now we're really starting to get to the downside right there as well. Amazon, great trade, obviously, today. But you can see what it's doing. It's trying to go the other way. So I just feel like we'll take another piece out right here at 25s. Just because, and then if we take out the high after that, fine. But right now we only have, like I said, we have about 25% left. Let's take out another piece right here. It's been a great trade. I mean, I'm up. I'll be up more on Baba at the end of it all, I hope. Not I hope, but I think anyways, than I will on Amazon. But at the end of the day, we'll take 2 trades. And if you're share sized properly, like I've got the goal here for today. It doesn't mean we're going to stop trading, but that just lets me know that yes, we were in the right names, we had the right amount of shares, and we trade them appropriately for this period, right? So we're up. It's 25 minutes in, and it's been a pretty successful day thus far. But it doesn't mean that we're not looking for more. We wanted to get AMD strength earlier on as well. If there's any names, this jobs report today really got the market hot. It got it heated, right? We talked about 20,200. That's right where we are right now. So you're at a decision mark. So That's why I'm saying, like, I'll
looking
hold.
weak.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking weak right now. So I'll hold off on trading something to the long side until it just sort of settles down. I wouldn't mind getting down to VWAP a little bit. AMD, we talked about how strong that name was, obviously up 3.5%. And I said 169. You know, are we going to take that 169? Like, I can't believe it got there, actually, with this market doing what it's doing. So it got to 169. That could have been one of the greatest shorts, or it's just getting ready to get ramped up to take that level out, man. I actually think the latter. I think we take this level out. So we'll wait to see here. 169, if the market gets bullish on us, which I'm not sure, but I like that 169 level right there. No doubt about that on AMD.
Yeah, and speaking of market getting bullish, it's not getting bullish right now. Tesla should have been a short at 250, but when you're looking breakout, you're not going to take that. I'm on the offer underneath VWAP on Rivian, and I'm going to quickly show you Spirit. We got out when it broke here. It made another high at 162. I'm in at 59, giving it to 62. So basically, like, it's going to be tight stops until it gets to 175, because 175 is the next big level. But Amazon's starting to come back in here, as that is right back at the breakout price. So it's where we all started, breaking out at this level. If we can't hold on here, I feel like if you retest VWAP, you're probably going to do for a little bit of a bamboozle underneath that level. Like, the market's so weak, I don't think you hold VWAP. I think you probably break that and then get down to the pre-market, not the pre-market low. It's like the opening range bottom, 185.60. That's $1 from here, and I want to hold past $1. So I'm just going to get out if we can't hold this 50, and then we'll work back into it somewhere down here or on the way back into the upside. So we're back to square one, which is save. Watch out for NVIDIA. That sucker is not strong today. This feels like NVIDIA is going to be, I think we're on one of those days where it's just going to be a red mark for some of these chip names. They were weak early when you saw Amazon breaking higher. I'm not feeling that strength at all. And I'm kicking myself for not just thinking that we were shorting Intel at 23. Should have just stuck to that guns. Got a little bit bullish on that number, but Intel went right to 22.90. 10 cents to that zone that we loved, and it's already pulled back 40. So I think this is going to be a short to pop, at least in Intel and Rivian. Haven't really decided whether I think NVIDIA is, but for sure on Intel.
Yeah, we're at a decision point right now for the futures because it just got, I mean, I said, like, the future's probably going to test this VWAP, and it just went right there. Now it's trying to hover underneath it as it's giving back, obviously, a little bit of the damage that it put on earlier. And we just talked about that. So hopefully it will continue to make moves one way or the other. But yeah, the market right now at VWAP, so that's good. Basically, anybody that was short or long right now, this is volume weighted average price. Both traders right now should be like in there. So we'll see which direction now this market wants to go. We could get out of Amazon as well as it breaks lower right there, AMZN. Obviously still a positive stock, but as we mentioned, it looks like Alibaba will definitely now hold the crown here. I still want to go long Amazon. I don't want to forget about it. It's just, you know, sometimes we get out of these ones a little bit too early. We talked about that yesterday. What's the market doing? Not much. We're
still above the breakout price from when we actually had the jobs number.
Yeah.
Well, you still, if you look at where the NASDAQ is, it's the only thing I'm in is like Rivian short, but like 2010, like 2100, I should say. Like, that's where we broke out from at 830. So you could dip all the way back into there, and then it's kind of like that theoretical support because it was resistance before. So I think that's going to be an opportunity for us. Amazon is now, okay, so Amazon is broken through VWAP. We'll see if this is where it wants to go. Like, this is the level 185.5 is where I want to be long in front of. Still only, I'm looking Amazon long still until proven otherwise. So if we get down in there, kind of anticipating the VWAP could break. Yeah, whoa, we just
proven otherwise right now.
We just accelerated to the downside there. I don't know. I just saw the NASDAQ just kind of crash a few points. NVIDIA just made some fresh lows. Amazon held up the best there. Whatever that was, Amazon held up the best in that move. I'm going to see if I can get some 86s on the ZON. Wow, NVIDIA's already at 122.5. All right, that's also, I'm on the bid of Amazon 186, and NVIDIA is at, okay, it's almost at that 122.5 zone that I like for the buy. So this was a spot that we're waiting for, station to station, right? It's a $2 range, but that was the bottom we didn't think was going to happen here on NVIDIA. And now that we're here, I'm going to take my shot at the long.
All right. Yeah, NVIDIA's a good one. Yeah, that's right. We did want AMD. Down. Google's also dropping down in as well. I mean, everything. Look at this market break. We should have been, you might have heard me. I was like should be short this market. Like, we've already broken below. We should not be fighting anything. We're right back in here, right into jobs number right now. So I don't, Amazon, we're long here at 10s, but we'll see if it does have, more to go here on Amazon. Looks like it might, but we're long, and we'll see if we can get that money back that we had just lost right there on that move down in. But look at it. It fights it over and over and over again here. Amazon really fighting to stay above water here. So we'll see. It's not above water. I mean, it's already 2%. It's well above. That's 185.60 is the bottom there for Amazon. So that would be a level to look at. If it does get back into there, we'll hold and see if there's anything that can happen down there, 185.50 or so for Amazon. AMD, again, on a pullback. So this is what I'm saying, though. It's like, is this the right time to be playing pullbacks or not? Because the market is breaking lower. It's just getting back to where we were pre that number. So that's where I'm kind of okay with what we're looking at now. I'm going to punch a little bit long here on AMD as we come into the 50 period and into VWAP. So it's not like a random punch here by any stretch. These aren't horrible levels. If we break back down below this 166 and change, what are we at, 167? I don't want to hold it that far. What is this, 167 basically? A break of 167 and we know we're in some kind of trouble. So, all right, we'll go long right now on AMD. We're long right now, 167.50s. A bump back up to 168 would be fine by me. So let's put some offers up there. Maybe we'll get it.
Yeah, you don't get any offers that you don't put out there. That's tried and true.
The truth.
I'm actually going to change one thing up on Rivian, and that's if 10 breaks, I'm gonna hit the bid underneath. So you've consolidated for now 10 minutes at $10 on Rivian. If it breaks 10, I'm going to add to that short position. I'm trying to get NVIDIA here. I haven't been filled at underneath 123. I'm just going to nibble in front of 123 and then also try to add here into that low. I believe we're going to, did I hear Adara?
Adding into lows is never a good idea, man.
No, it's not.
Spot coming into here, potentially key area of support. Looks like as of right now, we're failing it. We're going to take a look at what's happened so far today on these markets. The S&P 500 here trying as of right now to bounce off this 570 area we rejected before. Let's see if this holds up. A lot of continuation plays throughout the week as we wrap up what's been a pretty eventful first trading week of October here. We did have China strength here after its first down day for a while yesterday, rebounding nicely. The Hang Seng Index actually having a nice 2-week winning streak there. It's first since 2007. Nice look here for the markets generally, if we can hold up at this level. Of course, though, one of the key pieces of info we got this morning was the non-farm payrolls, much higher than expected here at 254,000 jobs compared to the forecast here of 150,000 payrolls. So much higher than expected payroll print. Other stocks on watch here include Tesla and some of these EV names. We did have China EV imports having EU voting here. They would like to put those tariffs in. So bit of a wrap up here with the tariff story, EU voting for these tariffs. We also have JetBlue. A lot of these airlines very strong, but I have JetBlue here, JBLU, especially with Spirit Airlines trading sharply lower after Wall Street Journal reported they're looking into bankruptcy. Last but not least, Rivian here, another EV name on this list, revised their production guidance to the downside, and they also reported a miss here in terms of deliveries for Q3 2024, down about 7%. Quite a day. Let's see how everything shapes up, guys.
Yeah, we were just like
shaping down.
Yeah, shaping down. We're in a couple plays there, upside and downside right now. Our AMD is not going to work. 166.50 if it breaks. I just don't really need to be in this name too much anymore. But we actually have a little bit of a lower target there for AMD. Let's not get too frugal with it, but at the same time, it is breaking. So that's those wicks down there right off the open. 30 break, something like that for AMD. But we're getting very, very close right now. The market is obviously a short, so we're going to have to be just careful with, I don't know, like, shouldn't be long. And this is what always happens, man. You sit there, you talk about like, you know, we like this trade, we like that trade, and then all of a sudden the market falls out of bed, and then you're caught the wrong way. It can happen both ways, down or short, up or down, long or short in the market. We tend to make more money, bless you, long. That's for sure. So, okay. We'll just keep on going. I might get some Amazon out. Oops, sorry, we're also long Amazon. It's funny, Alibaba's $1 in the money, but we've been short that name from the beginning of the day, so we're not worried about that. Right now, it's Amazon that's got us on our mind. We're long here at 91s. I'm going to try to get a little bit out if it does bump up. It doesn't even want to go higher here. So the market's trying to recover. Amazon is saying, hold my beer. So I don't really know. There it goes. Hopefully we get a higher bump up there for that one. And then right now, obviously as well, we wait for AMD to get going. We're long both these names. Need something to happen here. So we'll wait for it, but right now it's not overly attractive looking at these longs.
No, it's a bit of like an ugly duckling.
I
don't know. It's weird because before Amazon was really strong and Nvidia was really weak. Yet when we're trying to bounce off the levels, it's Nvidia that started to go and just fill the quarters, and it's Amazon that's not going. So color me a little bit surprised. Like when that dip in liquidity happened, I had 4 stocks up, and the one that responded the best was Amazon. Like it's the one that didn't drop as much. So I figured let's get into that one first. And all that means is I have a worse price relative to the low than I want. I should be long here. I said I would wait for 185.60, like this low, and instead I go long at 186. I could have a price in the 80s, but I got 2 entries there. I'm not going to add to it. Nvidia did make a nice little bounce play. It's trying to claw through those quarters again. I'm also offering in the 40s, and we're going to play into the 3-quarter mark as well. VWAP is going to be pretty important here because I feel like you're not that strong. Market's trying to bounce. I want to make sure we're covering on this bounce.
Amazon.
Intel did not pop anywhere near to VWAP, as you guys can see. Amazon just took out the low. So
yeah.
I'm going to slap a fail on that one because that turns me red on Amazon.
A problem.
And I actually got in way too early. I said wait for the 60, and instead of losing 20 cents, I end up losing like 45. You lose twice as much because you're impatient. On that bounce, Intel went nowhere. It's not getting to VWAP. And if it just consolidates here, I might look for the short if it fail breaks at 22.5. I thought we'd just be shorting pops in this. Obviously, you can't short the pop if there isn't one. Good look for Tesla, at least, for anyone that's paying attention. Tesla holding on to VWAP. Maybe this is the one that should be, if it can get back above VWAP, this is looking, oddly enough, better than Amazon. I'm a little surprised Amazon didn't hold up the way it did, but that's why I slapped a fail on it. Now, Tesla's at least at VWAP in this move, which gives it something to rest its head on.
Yeah, Amazon is really, we're holding on to a little bit of it. We only got out of our 75% strategy there, but you're right at the 200 period moving average. So I think that's something there. I was actually looking at AMD there for a second, which is why I was not more aggressive on that play. But okay, we'll take a little bit more back here on that level, but not a lot, as actually got to cancel my Tesla buy right now down there. We'll look at that again at 245. So AMD, again, did pretty good. It got up to 167 there, and we were able to get some out. But it's basically stopped right at 167 as the market continues to make a little bit of a bounce off here off 20,050. But look at AMD. It's going completely the other way around. So we're out. There it is. Breaks through 30. We're gone. So we will slap a big fail on trying to catch some of these chip names to the downside. Catch them to the downside by going long. That does not look like a recipe for success right there. And then holding on to this Amazon either. So yeah, man, below VWAP, it looks like it's really too bad because Amazon, as Neil mentioned, there was a good stock in the beginning. Then all of a sudden turned out to not be that case at all, as it just didn't hold. It's just not holding any levels. Whether or not you like 185 or not down here, maybe, but maybe we need just to wait for the market to correct itself. We said that some of these, our biggest losers are on days when it's like you just don't believe something's happening, but yet it's still happening. Like getting out of AMD was good because now we've saved, like make money. AMD is basically fine. It's just make money, lose money right there on that last piece. But you got to be careful what you're doing, especially when the market looks the way it does today. Up early on news and then just faded the whole day basically right into that. So yeah, right now looking like a dangerous spot here to be caught long.
No way.
Yeah, 185 for Amazon. All right, I think it's Adara.
Before we go, okay. Go ahead. No, go to it, Darren.
40 at 570 on that S&P 500. I have the 15-minute chart up here. Worth noting, we're actually getting some comments from Feds Goolsby, who was not initially on the calendar as of a few hours ago. Feds Goolsby, just to be aware, set to be speaking here at 10 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So our first set of comments from Feds Goolsby include his commenting saying this is, quote, a superb jobs report, also saying that the end of the port strike could be a good piece of news for the U.S. economy. So that could be what's pushing up us here above 571. Also cautioning, though, not to overreact to one data point, but saying that more jobs data in this realm will, quote, give more confidence that we are settling into full employment. So we got some comments from Feds Goolsby on this port strike ending and also this jobs report, guys.
I'll be talking about that.
So there was basically on Amazon, and sometimes it's really important to look at the book. There was a buyer on Amazon in the pre-market that chased it all the way to the upside, and the second they got lit up, you could see that it was sort of coming back in. So here comes, look, NVIDIA, we got a couple of legs out, but not all. So I got out of half of it on that pump. But if you lose this 122 half zone, I got to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. I was saying I was getting on the offer of Intel, but it doesn't matter. Like, I thought we'd get filled on Intel offers before we went over to Dare. That just didn't happen. So I'm not short. Rivian, we're in at 3. I'm sitting at 4. Sorry, I'm in at 4. It's right about like 5 cents out of the money. I'm looking for a place to reload that. But it's going to be NVIDIA that looks like it breaks out this bottom here. If it bounces and can show a higher low, I don't want to just get in willy-nilly. I want it to show a little bit more strength than just it not breaking this low. That's not enough to get into that long or to add to that long. I think you should be like staying well away from it. Amazon, 183.5. So there goes NVIDIA. Like I said, I have a line on a chart, but I'm not adding to it unless it shows strength off that line. I got half out, we'll take an L on the rest. Amazon, 183.5. Last time I did not wait for it to get to the level I like. It either holds a pre-market low and starts some kind of an uptrend that I can observe, or we wait for a 183.5. Don't want to throw good money after bad. Rivian is, I'm in it. I said I would add to some on the break and then short off of this 10 level. So I'm in about half of what I kind of want on Rivian. I feel as if because I'm in front of VWAP there, I don't want to have everything. So about half in on RIVN. What else is there? Amazon's absolutely dying. Tesla, I know we were mentioning Tesla a second ago. I said maybe Tesla can hold VWAP. If it can, this could be the one. Well, it doesn't hold VWAP, so I'm not going to go long. Let's go to Adair.
We have more comments here coming in from Feds Goolsby as the S&P 500 loses that support at 570 and continues to push lower. Feds Goolsby now also saying here that there, quote, are some signs that inflation might undershoot its target and that there are concerns, making sure that the Fed is careful about keeping rates, quote, as restrictive as they are, also saying not to lose sight of the longer-term trend. So mixed comments coming in here from Feds Goolsby of note here, guys.
Okay, yeah, okay. We've averaged into Alibaba, so we're holding on to a small piece of Amazon. I want to watch that aim. I was just looking to see like how low can we get for Amazon here. But anyways, Alibaba just went back into VWAP there of 115 flat, so we probably should have taken something out there. We've just averaged in a little bit to it. I'll put out like 10% down there at 02. Maybe we get a dip down for Amazon, for Alibaba. Just it's rallying into this market. To me, that
makes sense.
Not making. Yeah,
I'm being sarcastic, by the way.
No, I know, yeah. For me, that's not making too much sense. So we'll see, despite it making sense to Neil. No, just joking. I know it doesn't. But we'll just wait to see here what's going to happen. If this is one of those, now I know what Sharif means by the market's bamboozling right now, but it seems like maybe it is for the Chinese names. But hey, China's been super strong, so here I am fighting this one. I just think a retracement, maybe it happens. We're at VWAP. We'll take a shot there on this name for sure right now. But make sure that if you want to and are interested so far in the content here today, please subscribe, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit all of that. So for Amazon, I'm still looking for something down here, maybe this 184. Let's just try a little bit of a buy here. I don't want to. I think now we are bottom picking, which I feel much better than just catching it through the 200. We tried it there. We did get some out, but now we'll try it right there at sort of the pre-market lows and see if we can get some love back in for Amazon. But there it is. We'll try a little bit of a long here, and we'll see if Alibaba wants to go as well. But right now, just kind of fingers crossed that we have the right way.
Charts be nasty. But you know what? The show is free. The market fall is also free to watch. Exactly. And I know sometimes I should hit the order first and then speak later. So that was a mistake on my part on Intel. Like right when I was like, yeah, I should just probably get into Intel here. Had I actually hit the bid, it did make a fresh low, but now it's starting to come back to the upside. So let's look to see if it can hold on to this 2250 underneath. Maybe I can short an available pop. I did get a first profit take on Rivian. It just tagged 97s. I got bids in front of 90 and 85. We did take like a first win, second loss, and then the third. Now we're into it. So we're kind of trying to go 2 for 3 on this. There was just a bottoming wick on NVIDIA. I don't know if I want that to get me into position on it. But yeah, that might not be the one. I'm scanning to find some relative strength. Like what is something that if I'm going to look for a bounce play off of 20,000 that I like. And I came back to Dell because Dell double top, held on to. Remember, we're saying breakout levels that never happened. Maybe play into these for longs if they are supporting some kind of a trend. So Dell at the open dipped into that high and is now putting a higher low while the market's making a fresh low. I still like the premise of a long here in Dell holding on to this higher low, just a little bit stronger than others. So shout out to whoever it was that asked us about Dell in the afternoon, because it made me look at this chart, and I feel like we usually ignore this name, and it actually looks pretty solid relative to some of the other names off the bottom I'm seeing.
All right, guys, we're going to try something right now. We want you to be patient and stay with us. It's a free show. We're going to pay some bills, so let's run it. Oh, we can keep talking through it? Yeah, okay, all right. But I don't want to talk over the ad.
You know how usually we are we are. It's you kidding me? Yeah, just as I literally just said, don't talk and actually hit the bid. And then the first thing I did is go over to Dell, explain what I was doing, and don't take the long. That's hi, I'm Neil, and this just happened on Dell. Well, I was explaining what I wanted to do, thinking because the market was weak, you're going to get the prices you want. That's usually how it works on Dell. So, yeah, we're not filled in it, but I think there's opportunity to get back into the upside on this particular name. NVIDIA as well, we're looking for a bit of a bottom. There's the other side of the 122.5. All right, let's catch it on the right side of the trade here. It did a liquidity grab underneath, and I'm going to try and grab this one. I know at least you're still in Amazon. I feel like I want one of these.
Rebought it. I don't know if I would say that.
We just bounced 20,000, so I'm looking for that over-under play. And looks a little bit stronger in here. Should have grabbed that Dell, but didn't.
Yeah, I mean, we're still alive here. That is for sure, but I don't know for how long. But I appreciate the look there on Amazon. I just, we hadn't traded that. We traded it really well, to be honest with you, early, and then this happened, and then we just started to believe in it too much. And we talked about where you can be stubborn and things like that. So I just had some. See, I just got missed. Like, I didn't. I got some out actually. Okay. So I was gonna say I was trying to get some out here on the upside for Amazon because we had just recently bought that dip. So again, not trying to be stubborn and say this stock has to go back up. If we can make a little bit of money back up there on the upside, we'll do that just because we've been wrong and it's moving the other way. And the futures have broken down below, right? I mean, hopefully we just held that 20,000, but that's a fingers crossed type of thing. Like, I don't know if that's going to hold or not. We could easily revisit. Generally speaking, when you're going to hit a key level, like, this 20,000 here, I mean, tell me it's not key and look at this. Hopefully we are able to hit that and then make our way near view up or at least back to one of the other highs that we've had today, but it doesn't look like it wants to do that. So nice move so far. We got to be patient. This is only a 1 minute chart, man. I mean, I just feel like got to give it sometimes a little bit of room, but Amazon going the other way. So maybe there's just not so much strength in this port stoppage, a tentative deal here that we maybe think. I don't know, but for right now, Amazon really just went oppo. It took out 186.50. I really liked it. We're able to get that long and make money on it, but then gave it all back, and now we just wait to see if there is some love back in for AMZN back there to the upside. So hopefully we do have a move higher here. We're long right now in the 20s, so I'm taking hits. Like when we just got out at 80 there, that's a 40-cent hit. But you know what? We're trying to make sure that we hold on to enough of it to make it special if it does go back up. But right now, it doesn't look like it wants to do that. So we'll just continue with what we're doing now, and hopefully Amazon will retrace back up there through 185, and we'll go from there. I do have another order in the 80s to get something out, hoping that Alibaba can go downside and Amazon can retrace back to the upside. So that's what I'm dealing with right now, just at those same two positions. We lost on AMD, which is probably back up. No. Wow, AMD did not really catch a bottom.
No, the chips are... I mean, they're trying. NVIDIA is trying to bounce right now, but the thing that's going to plan, at least, which is the only thing for me that's going to plan after Amazon did what it did to me, is Rivian is heading back toward the low. Now, it hasn't broken the fresh low of the day. I plan to be, I'll be out of, I think it's 80% of it if it gets to the low of the day. So I'll only have 20% left if we get to the fresh low on Rivian. NVIDIA is at least now trying to make a bit of a bounce. Okay, this is where it stalled last time. You'd be a fool in a downward trend not to get some out here. So there you go. So I tried to get, let me zoom in for you guys here. That 122.5 was the zone that we liked. That was the breakout from yesterday. That's where we stopped out on the first long. When it did the false break, when it broke back through, I tried to go long on the way back through. I ended up getting like 73s. If we can get to VWAP, that's going to be the target here on NVIDIA. I almost said Amazon. Oh, and speaking of Dell, I know we had the ad on at the time. Yeah, I spoke first and didn't actually take the trade, just punching long into Dell. Dell's above VWAP, and already it was like a 90-cent move. Dell looks pretty strong. Already at VWAP, market's trying to bounce off of the lows. I want to look for some kind of higher low trend to play on Dell if there's going to be some long opportunities here today. So NVIDIA, we just got in there, took some out when it broke 123, looking for a VWAP retrace. If we get there, going to take some profit out on that. Intel is getting to VWAP. Ooh, Intel VWAP short. All right, so Intel's about to get to VWAP. This is where we wanted to short it. So here's our chance as we go to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. Imagine trading someone else's capital instead of your own. That's what it means to be a funded trader at Trade the Pool, and this is how it works. Complete the evaluation program by meeting profit targets, and once you succeed, you trade the Pool's capital, which gives you the ability to trade with up to $260,000 in buying power. The best part is that you keep up to 80% of your profits while the firm takes the risk. It's the ultimate way to trade, whether you're a beginner or a professional trader. Go and check out tradethepool.com. I went over their website, and it looks promising. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description for more info.
Hey, all right, a little promising website there. I like that. Okay, so we had a nice move to the downside for Alibaba. So yeah, man, it's a cash city right now on that play. For now, down to 115. So we will take that out, man. Taking more out down here into 115 for Alibaba. I like it. I like the stock down here. So let's see if we can continue to push a little bit lower. Then we actually had a little bit of a relief rally as well. We'll make a little bit back. Not making a lot of money here, as we talked about our hit already on Amazon, but that reload there, we waited for it, man. We waited pretty patiently for some kind of a reload, and it looks like we will be rewarded temporarily with Amazon there. And we are getting some out north of 185 right there. So we have, I mean, again, we talked about getting some out in the 80s. What about O's? What about 03s? So able to take advantage of that as now Alibaba's coming in. So yes, sir.
Oh, you know what the problem
is? This day's
with
getting
O's?
a hell of a lot better. What?
No, the problem with those, it's like Snoop Dogg said, I don't love them O's
Right.
at all.
Right.
You got to put the orders away.
You know, Snoop Dogg's been married to like the same wife since same lady since he's been like 19 or something like that.
I didn't know that. Good for him. I almost said good for him. That's what I'm talking about.
You must have found a real one.
That's actually I had no clue. That's mad respect. And it's not that I wouldn't think Snoop Dogg would be it's good for him.
I mean, he talks about pimping hoes and all that stuff. But
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the perception that I would have had. If that's the nice way of putting it.
Oh man, different.
That probably didn't come off very well. I like Snoop Dogg, man. I was a young buck when that guy came out. His first album was absolute hot fire. Now I'm just gonna compliment him. So we're short like two things. We're long NVIDIA. NVIDIA right back into the lows. Not yet. It's trying to put in a higher low. It's right back to almost where we got into it. I feel like the 122.5 is where we should have had that. See how I pivot back into the markets?
You're such a professional.
No, I know. We try to do that sometimes. No, but that is impressive. That's awesome for him.
Yeah.
So 122.5 is where we should have had it, but I didn't have to, but I did end up chasing this one a little bit into the 70s. If it doesn't make a break all the way back in here, I will look for a higher low to play off of. We're short on Intel. Rivian is catching a bid. So I ended up getting out. I didn't get one more fill, and I would have been down to the 20% that I said. So we still actually have just above 25% of the position. I'll reload this in front of VWAP on Rivian. There's a lot to look at here, and I know I keep coming back to Tesla. It's back at VWAP. I'd like to see it charge through and show a little bit more strength in that. See, this is a difference between Tesla, which I thought was strong, and Dell, which is holding out better. Like, it's got these higher lows to play off of, so you can just do something like this to make it look like that. And I think you can buy some. I'm going to buy some dips in Dell maybe over Tesla if I have to bottom pick something. So short Intel finally, still short Rivian, and let's go to Adara for the small cap recap. Hopefully Clover is not too bad.
IWM continuing to hold support here around that $216 level or just below. You could see here on a kind of that rounded bottom at that support level on this chart for the Russell 2000. We get that pop up with the rest of the market on stronger than expected non-farm payroll. We can do this 220 area, but IWM not able to hold onto that. Still holding up as of right now around 218. In terms of small cap runners to talk about, this one dropping a little bit here. We have Amprius up about 20%. Not any news from today, though. On Wednesday, they announced that they signed this development contract for a high energy custom cell deal with an unnamed Fortune 500 company. Worth noting here, they do have about a 7% short float. We also have Ford here, F-O-R-D. The name of this company is Forward Industries. No catalyst on this one, still up about 60% in a pretty bullish formation here. It is worth noting we have here a really small market cap, around 910,000 shares, roughly a $5 million, 910,000 share float, market cap of roughly $5 million. Last but not least, Beneficient here, BENF. This one, nice volume spike here, maybe trying to take out new high of days, up about 75%. Their subsidiary here announcing that they have this transaction which will allow them to have $126 million here, designated preferred equity. For context here, BENF, market cap of under $10 million from what I'm seeing. More details on this one on our morning watch list, guys.
Yeah, grab that
Market
morning
cap
watch
of
list.
Under 10 million.
Market cap of under 10 million. Okay. Yeah, definitely something to look at there.
Kirk Cousins could buy that company.
Kirk Cousins can buy. I think his combined career earnings is over $300 million. So yeah, he could definitely buy that company. Okay, so again, you know, we took back some Amazon here into this level, into the low of the day. If it breaks it, it breaks it. We gone on that one. Just want to let everybody know that. We've been down on Amazon. We're going to let it see if it can fly back a little bit higher here. We're long at 75s. If we do get that opportunity to take it out, we will take that opportunity, especially near in and around 185 to make sure we can grab 25 cents. That'd be pretty slick if we could get that. We were able to get a nice bottom as well there on Alibaba as we shorted basically the same level again, 20s, 30s, took that down in, took some out at O's, took some now at 85 for that low. So right now it's just Amazon with a continued bleed to the downside. Feels silly being in that one, and Alibaba's not really moving. So we're going to have to look elsewhere. You talked about XOM breaking out through highs
XOM
again.
All-time high break did happen. So
wow.
You know what? When the market makes you look left, sometimes you need to go right. So just first thing we'll talk about NVIDIA. It did bounce off that 122, just underneath the 50 level, but it can't seem to even get to 23s. So halfway into the 23, sellers already started to come into it, took some out there. Don't know, like when it's not even that it's making like lower highs, it's like, but where I'm buying it is making lower highs, and where I'm getting out is making lower highs. Like it's so very clearly downward trending. It's obvious. So I'm not going to reload this until I see it reverse the trend. Intel got to VWAP. I've got some out here at 50s. I have bids into the low of the day, but XOM and the energy name has been spectacular. 123.75 was the all-time high. Look at where the breakout is on XOM, 123.75. Look where the dip is at 123.75. It's consolidating above the all-time high on XOM here. Now, you got to watch out for oil futures if you're trading this, but I feel like this gives it like a breakout, or even just sit in the bull flag, give it to like underneath this low here at 123.70 on XOM. Strong move. Oil futures here, I can just quickly do this for you. The problem with oil futures, the reason I'm not in that trade, because oil futures right now trying to break or hold VWAP. If they break out the top, I think I would like XOM, and then you give it to that local bottom. But you'd like to see this resume the upward trend before that happens. So short Intel, Rivian still chilling out at 998. Dell is, where is Dell and why? Okay, yeah, Dell's not really giving that trend back in. It's still looking relatively strong. I'll hit save and that will be here the next time.
Right.
Yeah, so Dell's holding above VWAP. I never got into it. Again, I kind of didn't punch first, explain things first. Let's look at VWAP in here on Dell. I feel like this is so obviously a better name to be long, above VWAP and trending back up when the market's trending down. So if there's going to be another bounce off 20,000, then I feel like Dell keeps saying I should be in it, but at some point, if we get the bounce off 20,000, I need to just get in. So NVIDIA just broke the low amount of that. I'm only in 2 shorts now, and the only way I should be going long is 20,000 hold, trend hold on Dell. If I don't do that, then I suck. That simple. Because I should have had Dell here. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, there's I feel like, yeah, we should be short lots of things right now, and the only thing I'm short is Alibaba, and it's not really doing anything, so we'll have to look for more trades. We did lose on AMD quickly there, and we got in and out of that one real quick down here at 167, but as Neil mentioned, look, we're losing everything again. The futures continue to go lower right here. If we just show this chart, whoops, we're still on Neil's chart, I guess, or is that my chart? I don't know what that is right now, but...
That's not mine.
It's all good. Right here, futures just looking like it wants to lose again right down here into 20,000. So just be careful with what we're talking about. I was going to be over here. Well, I am over here on AMD looking, and it's like, no, man, we should have just reshorted these things. I'm kind of waiting for that pop. This is about the time now where it's like, okay, it's 10:30. Maybe the market wants to try to retrace just a little bit. Not looking like it wants to, though. We're still stuck Amazon long until it breaks through the bottom, which it's about doing right now. So 20 more pennies we can get out of Amazon 118.25s right there, or 184.25s to the bottom side of that. We are bidding also to get, our net is just kind of like, it's going lower because we have more shares in Amazon, but Alibaba's trying to help us out here with this move making lows too. So as Amazon continues to go lower, so does Alibaba. Problem is more shares in Amazon than Alibaba. So we took a little bit more out of Amazon as we just got into the 50s again. So we'll take a piece out there, but it does look like it wants to break lower. The futures are now going to go, the futures will go red. And that's kind of crazy to think about that, because we were flying high, man. We were up about 1.5% there.
Oh,
we had Michael Noss on, and when we were talking about sort of that jobs number and how great it was, and that the future, the rate cut is looking like it's going to be that quarter point. Fed's Goolsby, though, as if it was a ghoulish move, sending a lot of sort of hate at this market, I'm guessing. It's
bad
going
vibes,
to the
Goolsby.
downside. Bad vibes, Goolsby is right. There goes Amazon downside. So we take the L there on that last try for Amazon.
You know what's holding up? You just mentioned...
Not much.
I think you said... Did you say Bitcoin? You must have said something.
I did not, but Bitcoin is holding up?
Well, something made me overlook at Bitcoin. Well, I just looked at your chart. It's over 60,000. It's at 61. But Mara double top is holding trend up.
Right.
So I like Dell. Like I mentioned the reasons I still like Dell, and I'm trying to get into that in front of VWAP. But if you look at Mara, like double top breakout. When I say double top, I mean the last 2 days. I don't mean today. And it's not holding VWAP, but it's holding the consolidation above, right? So there's your consolidation above. Of course, don't at me if you're long Dell and I just jinxed it, but it's holding this support at 15.7, at least for now. What makes Dell distinctly different, and that's the first time in a while that I've actually entered Dell and not put NASDAQ. Dell used to be on the NASDAQ.
Right.
And I traded it a bunch when it was on the NASDAQ. And so it's all muscle memory. I cannot hit NQ when I put the symbol in. I'm on the bid in VWAP here. I think this is the one on a trend. If I lose long next, it should be Dell, unless Amazon goes to $183.50. And Amazon at 183.5, that was the big level underneath yesterday, and then support a couple of days ago on the 1st. So like that's the level I'm waiting for in Amazon. It's been a disaster on Amazon because that was a really bad reload where I ended up risking twice as much because I got in too early. I even said where I wanted to go long and then proceeded to go long like 25 cents higher than where we should have been. Like I don't like those gaps. Like I like outs that look like this. That's more my style.
I think Adara.
Is it crypto? Yes.
Take a look here at the crypto space and Bitcoin, which is forming a really interesting little trough area here of support around 60.8 thousand here. Look at this rejection before we make these higher lows. Then we come back here. Now we've had our third topping tail candle here in a row. Pretty flat here, but with these wicks to the upside. Again, currently wicking about 62,000 before coming to sit below 61. So let's see where BTC resolves itself from here. But we do have a slightly higher high if you compare our late August high to this high we got here at the end of September. Right now, though, maybe a bit of a decision point here for BTC. Worth noting as well, we actually have JP Morgan analysts saying that the geopolitical instability we're seeing with regards to what's happening in the Middle East could actually benefit Bitcoin's price as well as the price of gold as we head into the end of the year, saying that because both Bitcoin and gold are viewed as safe haven assets that could actually be pretty beneficial to them. In addition, being an interesting look heading into the election. We also have here Ethereum on watch, up about 1%, so faring slightly better than Bitcoin, depending on what second you look at it. Right now, they're up about the same amount. Generally, a little bit of a mixed picture, but more or less some strength. Ripple here, XRP is still feeling a little bit of the effects of that SEC decision being appealed. So now that's in the SEC's favor. And initially Ripple had won that suit from earlier or last year. We have Dogecoin up about 3%. We've got Toncoin up about 1%. Cardano up about 3%. Lots of strength coming back into these names when we had a little bit of weakness earlier this week, guys.
Okay, guys, Toncoin is a hot coin. We've talked about that a couple of times. I didn't even know what it was, but thank you, Adara, for that one. But here we go. It's a new trade alert, man. We go back into Google. Not back into it. We just went over to a name that, I don't know, man. Again, playing the dips hasn't been great, but we're able to take advantage of this move right now and get into Google. So we're in it right now, just seeing where it's going to go. But right now, Google trying to make some moves back up to the upside right here. And it just kind of got there on the 20-minute chart, got into some past support. We noticed 165.80 right there coming into play. And I said that maybe the market rebounds. We might have been a little late there on Amazon, but we'll wait, or a little early, sorry, late to get out. But there's the move down. Okay, so maybe Amazon's not the right one. So I just wanted to get into something else, put a little bit of a scratch on the board there with Google, and we did that. So good move. We actually got out on the high of that move right there near those wicks. Next area, though, let's just area this out. 166.30. Let's hold it, see if we can get back in. We're going to stop out if it breaks 50s to the downside. So that's 25 cents or 30 cents downside right now, and we just took 30 cents. So 1-to-1, trying to hold on to it. It's been fine, but not great. Alibaba's the savior again. Nice move back in. Load. Only name that we've been short there has been Alibaba. You guys want to look at Tesla? Let's do some of that too, if we can. Great stock. Wow, that was the one. Look at that down there at that 200 period. Sometimes you just need to look at one stock. And if you've been looking at, I mean, I've only looked at 4, but if you're looking at Tesla today, wow, that came right back in. And guess what level we wrote down? Oh yeah, 245 long. I mean, honestly, like there's certain times where you get that throw up feeling. Like there's 245. It just came in, I don't know, 30 minutes ago down to 245 long. Didn't even really break it. $3 in the money. You know, we got to stay a little more focused here on the plays that we want instead of just chasing other ones. So that's fine. We're happy to be in Google, that's for sure. But that was a missed opportunity there on Tesla. I hope some of you paid attention to the note and were able to get that. We'll go to Adair and then come back to Neil.
I was going to note here, we are getting a little bit of volume here coming to the upside for Tesla. This is the largest volume candle we've had in quite a bit here on that 3-minute chart. Just to reiterate what's being said here, I am not seeing any news on this move. Looks like it could be a support resistance bounce here, maybe a technical bounce off that 245.50 level. But if I see anything, I will let you guys know. Nice volume acceleration, though, for TSLA.
Yeah, Goolsby still going. Thank you very much, Adara. Just, again, Goolsby talking. I didn't really catch what they just said. I don't think you need necessarily a story here. You got stocks that are strong and stocks that are weak. Tesla is relatively strong. Dell is relatively strong. Apple, most of the chip names are looking pretty weak here. I just trimmed some. Look, you're going to break the high of the day here on Dell, so that's going to be, we're probably not going to get VWAP. I was just adjusting where we wanted to grab that. But I'm just going to go over to Intel because that level 2's gone. I just got another leg out of, I swear did I not just type Intel? There we go. I just got another leg out of Intel. It's putting in lower highs, which I like. But then you also form this wedge. The market's bouncing off 20,000, so I just got out of the bulk to look for another retest of VWAP. I'm going to wait for the retest of VWAP. It's kind of like Rivian. We'll let it make the next move, but I'm still looking for the next available dip buy on Dell. We might not be able to get VWAP, but if the market is bouncing off lows and Dell is breaking through the highs, I know that that's the one I should be in. I'm just not going to be buying any highs today with what the market is doing. You got to look for a dip buy in Dell. I'll look for a reload on Intel here, but got to wait for it to come into VWAP, or even just make another leg lower, and then we can short a lower high.
Okay. 10:40 right now. A good time to discuss. All right. Yesterday was like a huge success. It was yesterday fajita day. Like people absolutely loved that, man. People were walking around with nachos and everything all afternoon. Was absolutely fantastic. So hats off to the caterer for yesterday. Just making sure we get some of these orders off. Okay, well, today's one, actually, and let's go again. Let's get some successful lunch menus here today. Classic hot Montreal smoked meat sandwich.
Oh my God, that's like my favorite sandwich.
I mean, we're bullish, baby. We are bullish right there. Dark rye. Okay, I mean, this is all good.
I'm
man.
stealing one.
Roasted potato encrusted salad, I guess. I don't know. Glazed Spanish onion, sour cream. Yeah, I mean, we're down with all of this. So I mean, Montreal smoked meat.
Yeah, that's literally my favorite sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, we get, I have to say something. We get salads, but I mean, I'm just excited for the guys behind us right there and for the possibility of a little theft happening on the Montreal smoked meat there. So, yeah, good job there by the caterers today. That will be very, very well liked here on the floor. So hats off to you, my friends.
That is, oh my, and the best too is like you get a good one and you get the, I'm not talking about that cheap, terrible mustard. I'm talking about get that real, like the real Dijon. Get that Dijon going.
Yeah, Dijon's nice.
Is there Dijon
oh my
ketchup
goodness,
too?
You've got to be kidding me. Shout out to JKL. Dell is about to break 120. JKL, Montreal smoked meat was my nickname in high school.
Sorry about that.
I'm hoping it's because you ate a bunch of it, because then that's not the end of the world. If you can be rolling that every single day, then you could be winning. But I don't know if that was something else. So Dell, I'm going to get off the bid because if it gets to VWAP after breaking a fresh high, that's a little bit weird. I'm going to play the pullback just into the prior high. Dell is super strong here today. No question about it. It seems like it's going to be on a tear. And I missed the opportunity. This was the place to buy it. When it kind of connected there, consolidation, I should have had that break. It even broke a trend down there that I could have been in. But we're not. But it's a stock that I want to buy on the next available dip. I mean, the market is weak and trying to bounce off 20,000. Only thing I can see that's breaking out those highs. Oh, and Mara, that was the other thing. Mara, so that's my bad. At the time that I pulled up Mara, it was trying to hold this support level. And I said I might be jinxing it here. And of course, I then in fact jinxed it. So it did not hold and then break back out. It just broke the low. But you need to see confirmation. So I said at the time, apologies to anybody if I'm pointing out a support level that I want to see hold and get above VWAP, and then it breaks out. But Dell, we're going to try to buy that next available dip. Rivian, we're still in the short trade, but we've taken out a bunch of this. It hasn't really done a test of VWAP. It's now just going sideways here off VWAP, and then same thing with Intel. But yeah, Dell is on one. Let's go over to Sector Watch so we can see what else is strong.
Not particularly strong here. A lot of these Mag 7s, if you look at both of our technology sectors, all 5 of the Mag 7 names within this space, a little bit more muted on the day compared to some of their peers. If you look here at electronic technology, some strength in AMD and Broadcom, whereas technology services has upside for Oracle, Netflix, CRM, and Accenture. So definitely not being led here by Mag 7 names. But then if we go to the other side of this board, if you look at some of the names in the discretionary space, Amazon and Tesla, the 2 Mag 7s in that world, really leading their sectors to the upside. Retail trade, interesting here as well. This sector's been on watch all week with those port strikes. They have now come to an end. Home Depot and Lowe's actually trading lower on this news, so that's an interesting look here. Consumer durables, also Tesla, basically the lone standout here as we continue to see the sector react to some delivery numbers coming throughout the week. Lots of weakness in communications, utilities, health technology pretty weak as well, and process industries. It's also really worth noting utilities to the downside after a week full of strength for energy and the utility space with regards to the situation in the Middle East. So let's see how all this shakes out. Could be an interesting board next time we take a look, guys. Things could have changed.
Finally, I mean, there goes Google. So we got this one, man. That was a good little long there. Google ripping upside right now. Bitcoin futures back down to 61,000. But right here, man, we're looking at this 166.30. Maybe we can get a piece out. We're trying to get something out there if we do. 166.30 would be a good one. How's the Timmy's over there? Oh, by the way, we do get that Alibaba. That's $1 right there. So we'll go dollar club in on Alibaba as we get those 40s again on that one, or I guess 80, 85 cents right there on Alibaba. But yeah, Google, we're trying to take something out on the top end of that. And then honestly, guys, I'll try Amazon one more time. I just think about a 185 break. Maybe we can get out of there, get this garbage out of here, and go long on Amazon back through. If it wants to take it out, we'll be here for that one on AMZN. Any plans this weekend, Randy? Yard work. I don't mind that. I like doing yard work. That should be fun. the weather will be there. The weather will be there. It'll be a nice nice weekend for sure to do some yard work.
I get a pass on yard work now, but it won't last forever. How am I supposed to do? You crazy? I can't even walk properly. You guys talking about yard work.
Yeah, we'll have to rake some leaves there, and then I think maybe power wash some of the concrete. We'll do that. So we'll have some fun at the Kitty House, and then nail the kids with the water gun, nail the dog there with that. See what's going on. That should be a lot of fun. We have baseball. We have a full day of hockey tomorrow, actually, and then I think Sunday is relatively chill. So we'll wait for that. We got to play in Burlington.
NFL baby
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, Burlington. That was one team I never liked.
Good old Burlington. Okay, so Google trying to go. Look, we're just sitting here looking for some opportunities, right? I mean, AMD could be an opportunity. That was another name that was on the radar for a minute here today. Should have definitely been buying those dips. This is what I'm expecting to have happen right now with Amazon if we can get back higher. Because Randy's here, we can have a look at Tesla back. Wow, right back to 250 again right now. So Tesla looks like it wants to break that. Randy, on the sticky note I wrote down buy Tesla long 245s, as you can see here on the sticky note. Do you know what this price was right there? 245. That's a nice story. I don't have the long. But anyways, we wrote it down. Should have had it. Don't have it. Happy belated birthday to Satya. I see her over there right now. There's not here to wish her that. The Rivian also getting kicked, 6%. Randy. We talked about that. Down 6% Rivian right now. A great buy opportunity if you ask Randy, I think. Yep.
Randy seems to like it. I know, but you know what? You're talking about longer time frames. I just got out of the short on Rivian.
Google,
so we got out of about 8. I got 75% of it out. I was going to get 80% of it hit the low of the day, but that just broke above VWAP. So we're out of that. I'm finally into Dell. I broke that high of the day. Shout out to SP Williams. Shout out to SP Williams. Called out Dell yesterday. Bounced back from 10 million sold. 10 million sold. And that was by, of course, Michael Dell. And to me, it's like, if that's done, maybe that's why it's relatively strong. But what really happened is, look at this hold of the prior high and then the higher lows back into it. So I want to look for this trend long. If this is going to go, great. Tesla, obviously, I think now, it's breaking 250 as we speak. Yeah, I'm like, forget about I think now. It's breaking 250 literally right now. On Tesla, although I always say if I mention that you're breaking a level, you're not breaking the level. So there you go. Once again, I swear it was at 250.00 was on the offer when I pull up this stock, and it just dipped 80 cents. I jinx breakouts. It's what I do. But it doesn't mean it's not going to break. It just means the first time it goes and I pay attention to it, it doesn't break the level. So still pulling back off the 250 is Tesla. It'll get there. We didn't come all this way not to, did we?
Ooh, no, I like that.
What are you got to be kidding. It was literally 0-0 on the offer. Okay, it's about to break out. There's your dip. But still, I'm going to dip onto Intel because that's a VWAP. It'll probably still break at some point, but you just got to wait for it.
Yep, nothing wrong doing that either, guys. Just be patient with all of the trades. We have Google right now. That's a 70-cent winner, so let's go, man. Let's just go a little face slapper. What a rough open it was trading that Amazon long side, but nothing else problem today, right? This Google right now is going to be my P&L number. Well, no, Alibaba will be P&L number one. My bad. But right now, this name continues to go higher. We still have 40% on for Google. We knew that there was going to be some retracement plays that had to happen here today. It looks like we got it with Google. So there it goes back up there to the upside. I still don't mind this trade, guys. I don't mind Amazon breaking 185 right there. So we'll see if that can happen. We'll try to punch into that long if and when Amazon starts singing through 185. I like the stock, man. Let's see if it can come through. But it looks like it wants to go lower, so maybe that is not the case at all. So we'll wait. If that happens, it happens. You do not need to trade it if it doesn't go. DraftKings, DKNG, just real quickly here, breaking back below 40 again here today. So again, it had its little run up there. I still like the stock. 5 straight down days. I wanted to look at it. Looks like it's trying to base out a little bit here. Downside. Did I just get filled on something? No, I did not. Okay. Did I just get an Alibaba fill there? No, nothing. Okay. My screen flickered there. I was like, I don't think I have any orders out. But here's DraftKings. This is why we want to look at it on the daily chart. Coming into some kind of support down here, 37 and change. We looked at that from yesterday. 37 and change on DraftKings, I think, is a decent buy down there. Mara with sort of Bitcoin uncertainty. We liked that 15 level. Didn't come into play today, but did yesterday. As you can see, right down into there, a bounce off of 15. Getting a nice bounce upside as well right now is Mara going back there. Palantir, and then we'll pass it back. Right now, there's only 13 minutes left. It's going to be a great, we already talked about this, it's going to be a great midday show as we have Satya and
some dude, what's his name again?
Sharif, that's it, coming here as well. So it's going to be a great midday show. What do you guys, anything specific today? Level 2 Katina Man. So we're going to be excited for that one. Stay tuned with Satya and Sharif. Level 2 talk. I mean, that's important. We actually had Obi already talk about what he had seen on the level 2 earlier.
Amazon level.
That sort of tipped him off to potentially some good trades there on Amazon. So we'll hear more about level 2 and its trials and tribulations during the midday Bonanza show with Satya and Sharif.
Some guy. The man formerly known as
Sheriff. The Sharif.
It's all good. Appreciate you, Sharif. I love. We always try to have a little bit of fun around here. So
no, I legitimately forgot his name.
Oh well, dude, I forget so many.
You know, it's like you're talking so much. I was like, oh man. Yeah, Sharif.
I'm like that stock that we're in yesterday. What was it called again? And oh yeah. Every now and then you'll hear me do that.
And I have to be authentic.
But what happened on Amazon that I think. Okay, so I'm waiting for Amazon this 183.5. It might not even get there. It looks like 84 could be a bit of a deal. I'm seeing it cancel, and if this is a level, then it can work a trend to the upside off of this instead of that, then I don't mind it. But what Obi was describing was the break and run. There was an order following it to the upside and up to here. And when they got filled, it was like a release of the bid. And you can see that everything changed once those buyers were fulfilled above that 187. He didn't use it. I don't think he that's not the words he used, but that's what I said. So there you go. Something else I wanted to get to. Oh yeah, it was XOM. So the ZOM.
Google trying to go.
Yeah, all-time high again for XOM. It just continues to trend higher. Super strong at this point. So I know we mentioned that it was breaking an all-time high at 123.75. But you still have to have the trade on. Let's go over. Apparently it's 10:50. Means we have to go to the desk. We've got to give you money toss.
But the wait there, lots to discuss in the world of the U.S. dollar. Of course, chief among this data is going to be the much higher than expected NFP numbers here for September, coming in 254,000 compared to the estimate of 147,000. So over 100,000 more than expected here. Also well above that prior print of 159,000. We now have a 5-day green streak here for the U.S. dollar, clearing that previous double top level of resistance, bouncing off the 100 level. Now coming into maybe some potential resistance here. Let's see if we can break above that previous support that we've already rejected today of 102.60. We also had comments from Fed Schoolsby, who initially was not, from what I was seeing on the Fed Speak document, or I guess docket there, or calendar. We did have Fed Schoolsby saying, amongst other things, that this job report was, quote, superb, and saying that the market and the economy can be positively reacting maybe to the port strikes. A good piece of news. The fact that this port strike has ended. Also said, though, it's worth noting it's not worth reacting too much to one data point. Now, it's also interesting, since we had those comments from Fed Schoolsby and that higher than expected non-farm payrolls, we have both traders pricing in and actually analysts changing here some of their predictions for the next rate cut. B of A has already changed their November rate cut call from a half-point cut. Now they're expecting a quarter point. We even have traders pricing in now less than a quarter point cut. So pretty big day here for the DXY. Let's see how the rest of this unfolds today, guys.
All right. We take $1 right here. Google just goes upside, so that's going to be a good trade. We just put that one on. So there it goes straight up for Google. I mean, that's That's a banger right there, but we have a we have another one here on Amazon. So we take that 185 breaker right now back into the downside. So we'll see here. I hope it doesn't go too far down. I might punch some out. I thought this would almost go right off 185 there. There it is. All right, we'll take some 11s out right now. See if it wants to get a little bit higher, and we'll see if we can seek some kind of revenge here on Amazon, get some more out there at 10. We're just long at 02. It's not like this is crazy, but we're starting to make something back right now on this one. So let's go. We have our stop there at the 50-period moving average, which is a break of 70s. So we'll take out a little bit as it goes up. We're waiting at 15s, just kind of stops there. If we can get 15 cents, that'll put us close enough to that 1-to-1. I'll actually cancel and go to 13. Hopefully we'll be able to get something in and around there, and then we'll just work on it. So there it goes. We're long now on Amazon. Let's see if we get a little bit of a bump. This was a trade that we had talked about and waited for. Looks like the bid down here would have been much better, but we wanted to play the break. So let's be strong with this conviction and see how high we can go here on Amazon, trying to get going. Google right now, though, is $1. We're 165.70 long right now on Google. So the market's trying to help us with a little bit of love to the upside. It's Amazon that's just not going here.
Yeah, and so
losing
the last of the two shorts, my two shorts are what won today, but we just took out Intel at VWAP. So if it gets back up to the high, fair enough. If we just fail a wick underneath here, I'm going to jump right back on over to it. I feel like that's got to be the area of strength. I did want to get, obviously, you saw what happened with Tesla. It is what it is. I mean, it got to 250, it pulled back. You're still making higher highs and higher lows going into this. So I feel like a break of this is imminent. It's probably the next position that's going to come in here. I'm still long Dell on trend. If Dell loses the trend, I'm going to get out of that. But I'm going to be on the Tesla level too, because I feel like this is going to happen. When you're within $1 of that move, it can snap up there and it can break pretty quickly. The other thing is I'm willing to get back into Intel underneath VWAP. But if it's not under VWAP, I don't want to short it. And that's the same thing with Rivian. Like, I will go back over to, of course, now Tesla's going to roll over.
Everything is rolling over now.
No, I'll get back into Rivian if it gets back underneath VWAP. Just looking for the next opportunity to go short that. And the other thing that I might add to this list is NVIDIA doesn't look so strong to me. I'm not completely convinced this is a strong one. It's underneath VWAP, like Intel's breaking VWAP and Rivian, and then NVIDIA doesn't. You have kind of like a double top in here. Then you have the same lower high. If we're just going to hold under VWAP, why wouldn't I be short this? Failed high, lower high, failed VWAP. It's got a trend. Unless it breaks the trend, I should at least be willing to short it. So, I'll just kind of do that and say, if you're not breaking and consolidating above the trend line on NVIDIA, I shouldn't be looking long on that stock. We're going to wait for that one patiently. Still feel like Tesla is the one. Here it comes. It's at the $0.50. Should break. I mean, it should break. But, yeah, don't blame me for jinxing it. I'm not controlling the stock. I pull it up. I think it's going to break out 250. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened there. The market did a dip dive and a duck dodge there underneath that VWAP. So we're going to have to be as patient as we can now. We'll get some more out. We averaged into Amazon. We're long at 95. Let's see if it can go up higher here. Boy, man, I mean, that was close. We were going to get out at that break of 75, 76 or so downside there. We gave it a couple more pennies. It was close to getting broken out. We did average into it, but this was as planned. It's just like when you first get into something, you don't expect it to completely flush right there the other way. It was battling and battling, and then all of a sudden the whole kind of market went for a little bit of a dip there. Google, look at this. I mean, nice move right off there. We only have we have about 15%. I was going to say less than 10%, but I didn't use as many shares there on that break. And on this one, we did get some out, man. We got some out. We were able to buy, what's our average price now on this? 95. So it came up basically into flats again. We were able to get something out for a flat. I just feel like Amazon's going to be our red stock, right? I mean, it's like, why are we even back on it? I just thought there was going to be some love here on a break higher, and Amazon had a lot of room to go back there to the upside. It looks like we picked our poison with Google correctly, but not again here with Amazon. So we'll kind of just add to the L, but this time it'll still be 20 cents, which sucks. But there comes Amazon right back in now again into those lows. As we bounce off VWAP, that was a short. That was a TQQ short there. We should have been short the market. And there goes Amazon breaking lower again. So boo. We should have been short there, the market. Still up on the day, but under VWAP for sure. Looks to be a better short than we gave it credit for. So we lose on that Amazon break there of 165 or 185, sorry. It went for a little bit, only went 10 cents, and then we fall back in and take that L. So we'll sort of add on to that one. That kind of sucks. It wasn't as big as it was earlier because we're using more shares earlier on in the day, but I still like that trade. Maybe it's just this VWAP break will stick with the Qs, so we're not battling single stock risk. But Google, nice move. Upside there, it's Amazon that's really been disappointing here.
The battle is, there's two big battles being waged right now that I can see. One is NVIDIA at VWAP, and the other is Tesla at the $0.50 in front of the 250 level. So you're just going, okay, so just to update, Dell, I have 2 orders to get out, not all of it, but take profit in front of one. Okay, let me just pull the Dell chart up here. Tesla's gonna break, man. And if I look away from it, you know it's gonna break. So on the way up to the trend line, I have a couple of orders to get some out in front of 120 on Dell. And then if I get filled in the next one, I'm gonna reload on the bid. That's Dell, which is trending up and trying to break the high. This is Tesla trying to go. And then NVIDIA at VWAP. And like whoever wins here, so NVIDIA, I feel like whoever wins, NVIDIA VWAP, Tesla at this 250, if we go down from both of those levels, then the market's coming in. That's what I think is happening. And right now, you're kind of losing the bid here on Tesla. It was so strong going into this. I like a consolidation for a breakout. That's actually a good thing. But ultimately, it still has to break the level, Tesla. You know what to do. I'm going to work over to...
You know what it is?
Like Intel's still above VWAP, so that's not really giving me a short opportunity there. Now NVIDIA is starting to get above. NVIDIA is starting to show some signs of life above VWAP here. Maybe this is the one that's going to go next. You got the nice higher lows in there. I do think you're going to have an opportunity. I'm not going to cancel my order on Tesla just because it's not breaking. But if we're going to hold above VWAP, I think the market should go here, especially if NVIDIA can start first.
All right, Alibaba's $1. Alibaba just fell again, so there it is, man. We had $1 on Google. We'll take $1 right now on Alibaba as it's right back into those lows. I think we could break lower, especially if we do play the right game there. There goes Tesla. Tesla finally breaking long, so we have that long, of course, right here. So let's just wait to see now what we want to do with it. Looks like it wants to fade again, Neil. Oh, man. Okay, here it goes. I just took a piece out at O's there thinking that it was no good, but I guess it was good after all there for Tesla. So we'll still stay on it and wait to see what's going on. We got some shares here, but it doesn't look like it wants to go upside. So yeah, there's Tesla on the fail back in a little bit. So I don't know. We'll take a little more out here. Hopefully it can go. Little struggle spot there. The market needs to go break through VWAP as well. So let's see if Tesla can get going. Now breaking through 250. So good trade here temporarily, I think. But let's give it enough room that we're able to go if it breaks. So we're still in it right now, obviously. Tesla, we just got out of a third actually for flat there as I thought it would go immediately. The fact that it didn't, little puzzling, but we're only 30 seconds into the trade. So let's give it a little bit of room.
Give it some time. I mean, it consolidated for so long. You got to think, like the first push hasn't even seen quarters yet. Like we're trying to get to the quarter on that breakout. All right, someone just stacked up the bid here at 50s. If it can't get to the quarters after someone just re-upped the bid and they're continuing to do so at 25, oh, it's already 11 o'clock. All right, well, it needs to make the push now. I'm gonna get out of some of this. That was a big push. If we don't hold on to the 3/4 mark after that push up, I'm gonna drop some of this and look for a dip buy because it should have had more of a strong move. So I'm just gonna let's put a stop in there. I took out 3/4 and it needs to get back above 250 or give me a appealing dip buy to jump back into this trade. Let's go. It is midday time. We've got Sharif. We've got Satya. More level 2s, and let's go Tesla.
Hopefully.